What is a patriot? A patriot is someone that loves Christ, country, and their family and neighbors. Someone who is willing to stand up for what's right. Although there may be a cost to them, someone who has overcome fear, because fear is of Satan, willing to go the extra mile to do and show what's right. The only reason I'm on YouTube is because of God. I feel it is my destiny, my duty to do and say the things God shows me, or else I'm of no good to God at all. All patriots must stand up or risk losing God, country, and family. This is all of our destiny, to do God's work. Thanks to all who watch my videos. But remember, it's not about us, but about our children, our country, our God. Thank you. What's up, Mr. Steve?
There's Ronnie.
There he is.
What's up, brother?
I'm still alive. Barely, but I'm still alive.
Right on.
You think we ought to take a couple minutes to say hello to all these great people in the chat?
Yeah, see, look
There's
at all
Hulke.
these
Hello,
awesome
Hulke. How you doing, brother?
Hulke.
Yes, off. Tell you what, I'll read a few, and then you can read a few. How's that sound?
Right on.
Miss Deborah Clark. Hello there, girl. Welcome. Chessboard. Hello and welcome to you. The beautiful Kiss Off is here. Mr. Chris Gilbert is here. And as I said, Hawk's Mustard Seed is here. The beautiful Salt and Light is here too. Wow, I can't believe it. Welcome, Salt. Paula Work is here. Hello, Paula. Welcome. Let's see who else. Meemaw Patriot. Hello, Meemaw. Welcome. LSP. What's going on, LSP? Good to see you, brother.
Lord Spike.
And I'll let you get the rest of them. Whatever's left, I don't know.
Scat Pack 2. Creek Squad. Mr. B. CFM Rocks. So for everyone that aren't seeing these people, I'm stream sharing to my channel too. So if you're like, what? I don't see Creek Squad in there. Garrett, what's up, Garrett? Who else? I know we missed someone.
I guarantee Garrett's probably been watching wrestling. He likes wrestling. Silver Girl.
Silver Girl. Aloha, Silver Girl. Always good to see you.
Miss Cheryl Rich. Hello, Cheryl. Welcome. Poor Dirt
PDF.
Farmer is here.
Aloha, brother. Haven't seen you in a while. How you been?
No kidding. It has been a while. PDF is in the house. Welcome, PDF. Well, you know, the thing that we were talking about backstage, you know, with Israel and all, and I know I've been over most of it with you, but I'm going to, if you don't mind, you know, might as well go over it again for all these good folks here.
Oh, absolutely.
I hope it don't piss anybody off, you know, but it's just the truth as I see it. And, well, that is that I think this stuff with Israel was all planned to happen and was allowed to happen by not only by our people, but by the Israeli government. I mean, does anybody really think that all those missiles could have gotten through the Israeli defense and without them knowing about it, or those 400 fighters, they think that they could have gotten through without the Israeli intelligence knowing about it? No freaking way. I mean, it's just so silly. They got sensors, Israel does, all along the Palestinian border. everywhere along that border. They would have had to dig tunnels, no telling how far into Israel. And they would have known that, though, because those sensors pick up the digging of tunnels. So it's just totally silly, that to think that, Israel didn't know about what was going on.
Yeah, it just doesn't slide through like that or slide by or.
Yeah, I mean, people just got to put their thinking caps on. And there's this is all leading up to a nuclear event of some kind. That's just all the hell there is to it. It's coming. So everybody might as well get ready. And I truly mean that. Whatever you can stock up on, that's what you need to stock up on. Whether it be food, water, lead, you know what I mean. I'm going tomorrow to get me some. Believe me. Hawk said, a mouse farted in the direction.
I don't mean to cut you off, but every time they're doing their lawn, they're cutting their grass.
Oh, are they?
I gotta go close my front door. I'll be right back.
Right.
Every time.
They must be watching and know when we're on or something. So, Clay, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. 𝗙𝗲𝗿, welcome, 𝗙𝗲𝗿. Dennis, welcome, Dennis. Good to see you, brother. Or for you, Steve, there's no red dot. Just saying, I got to find his last comment, know what he's talking about there. Let's see. Hawk says, Hawk says, if a mouse farted in the direction of that fence line, it would have been executed without prejudice. Exactly. Hawk, that's exactly what I'm saying. Clay, good to see you. Jorge, or George, however he says it.
Jorge. I always said George, but then I heard Jorge, and I'm like, yeah, I like Jorge. It sounds cooler.
It does sound cool, don't it? And I don't know how he says it. That's just the way it sounds to me, when you sound it out. Chesper says, Ronnie, I agree. I think it's their way to get rid of God. Oh, it is. That's one of the things. But what they're really trying to do is their goal is to start World War III, nuclear war. That's what this is all about. And one way or the other, that's what they were trying to do with Ukraine and Russia, but it didn't work out. And so now they moved on to Israel to try to get it to work out there. And I think they're going to accomplish their goal this time. I hope I'm wrong, but we shall see.
And if you've never done prepping before, now's a good time to start.
It definitely is. It definitely is. I'm telling you, this has gotten so serious, and believe me, I think everybody knows that I never try to put out what's called fear porn. But in this case, it's going to, I guarantee you, well, like I was telling Steve a while ago, this is what I would bet on this happening. I can't guarantee anybody anything, but because there's, like I was saying a while ago, there's a counter punch coming from the good guys, and who knows what that's going to be. I certainly don't. But the thing is, and this is where I hope I don't piss anybody off, but the Jews that are in control of Israel and the United States and basically every country in the world, every other country in the world, are nothing but, in my opinion, evil. And so that's what all this is. All these countries are working together because they're all the same thing. I mean, like here in the United States, nearly everyone in our government has dual citizenship with the United States government and with the Israeli government. I mean, government, I guess. But anyway, they're as much one as they are the other. But when it comes down to nut cutting time, they stick with Israel. The Jews over there, they're not going to back the United States. That's why you hear all these Republicans now saying, oh yeah, let's go to war. We got to go to war. We got to go to war. No, we don't. I mean, if Israel can't take care of their damn selves against a little country like Palestine, well, then they're in trouble. And why is Israel bombing Syria, Lebanon, all these, doing it already? Why are they doing that? There's no need to do that, because they're wanting to drag the whole Middle East into war. I mean, that's just what it is.
And Clay just conspiracy just said it, considering they're another battle group headed to the Mediterranean should tell you something.
Exactly. That's exactly right. There is one. That's exactly right. I don't know when they're supposed to arrive there, but why in the world, would we be wanting to send our guys to die over there? It's just so incredibly stupid. Israel, when they got into war with all those Arab countries before, I think it was the 6-Day War, if I remember correctly, they won it all by themselves. I mean, we may have given satellite help or something, or whatever, but we didn't have to send troops or anything in. But now they're sending our troops over there, with planes and no telling what else. And that's because, again, they want to start a big war. And I believe it's going to happen. I think they'll get it this time. It's just very freaking sad.
Conspiracy says we are there, so Iran don't step in.
That ain't going to stop Iran stepping in. I mean, Iran will step in. I guarantee you, it's not only going to be Iran, it's going to be Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Iran, Jordan, Egypt. Just name an Arab country, all but maybe Libya. Now, who knows about Libya anymore? But they're all going to step in. And my opinion is, and my opinion only, but I think that they're going to, all these Arab countries are going to go in and clean out the Israeli government. It's either that, or they're going to totally wipe out every Palestinian that's there. I mean, why does, let's say that Hamas is, first of all, let me say this. If we, here in the United States, let's say somebody came in and took 2/3 of our country and then walled everything off so we couldn't get any food except through them, any water, anything except through them, and treat us like dogs, wouldn't any of us be pissed off and ready to fight them? I know I would.
Right.
Well, that's how they're feeling. Hello, beautiful Indy. Welcome, girl. Mr. 𝗙𝗶𝗿 welcome. But yeah, Joe Kerr. Hello, Joe. Welcome, brother.
Joe, Charlie. Beautiful Indy.
That's right. Salt. It could be that way too. Or the Lord of Hosts makes an appearance and totally takes over. That'd be the best in this situation. Well, I think, to me, it's all this is a God movement to me. I mean, everybody can look at it their own way, that's for sure, but I think this is God at work myself. I honestly do, because how else are you going to get all these evil people out of office and everything, out of control of whatever they're at anywhere, other than by doing this stuff? And again, it's like Q said. He said, we're going to light a fire and smoke them out. That's what we're going to do. This is part of that fire that they've lit to smoke them out. Then they're smoking them out. But everybody, we've all got to come together and stay together and be ready to accept things that we always thought were true that wasn't true. We got to be ready to accept the truth, in other words, from wherever it comes from. And it's going to be hard to do in a lot of cases. D-Dog, what's going on? Welcome, brother.
D-Dog, Steve-O.
Yeah,
Mike Jones.
I would. Exactly, D-Dog. I certainly would. I'm pissed off at them now. I mean, there ain't nothing but a bunch of crooks.
That's a good point. What they're already doing. Yep. That's Actually, I was talking to 𝗙𝗶𝗿 last night. That just reminded me because he was mentioning how they had a ordinance or something in California for you're not allowed to cruise. Like if you're caught going around, just cruising, just driving your car, just going around a block, you get cited for it. Like, where's the? This is a free country, and you're not allowed to drive your car and do what you want to do.
Well, you know what else is now legal in California? Prostitution.
They legalized?
Yeah, they said yesterday that there's women out on the street now, on the highway, the expressway, with G-strings on. That's all, just G-strings, and bending over, showing all the goodies. Jeez. And the police can't do anything about it because it's now legal. Man, I'm telling you, it's the darndest thing I ever heard of. Cola, welcome, Cola. Good to see you. Miss Sharon Steinspring, welcome.
Sharon, aloha.
Our announcer is here.
Gigi.
Mr. William Gramer is here. We got an announcer today by George.
Yes. We're good. As long as William's here, we're good, because then we'll know at the end if it was a damn good show or not.
I wonder if, we always have a guest come up, Steve, for the second hour. I wonder if D-Dog would be interested in coming up in the second hour.
That would be awesome.
It would.
That'd be really awesome.
I bet he won't, but it would be nice.
I think he would. I got a good feeling about it.
Well,
Who's right, D-Dog? Who's right, D-Dog? I got a good feeling.
I'd like to. He says he can't. I knew it. Can't never could do nothing.
I was never a good gambler. Hey, Tyne Duff, aloha.
There's Miss Indy. Beautiful Indy. Oh, I like calling you Mr. William Gramer. That's better. But, I mean, after all, you are our announcer, so you got to have a ton of respect for our announcer. But I just think that stuff, we thought things have been bad now for a while, which they have, but I think they're about to get a whole lot worse, because they're going to be, in addition to the war, there's going to be a lot of shipping cut off that where we still get a lot of supplies at, from other countries. That's going to be cut off. And so, I mean, who knows what it's going to cut us out of? It could be food. It could be basically anything. So that's why everybody needs to stock up now.
Or everything. I mean, yeah.
Yarn Works by Lydia.
Yard
Welcome.
Works. Aloha, Yard Works.
Mr. Mike Jones. Just now saw you, Mike. Welcome there. Where has Keno been? That's a good question. I hadn't seen Keno in a while.
We were asking about him last night, too.
I think we talked about him last week, didn't we? Asked about him.
Yeah,
I still haven't seen him. Of course, I hadn't been on all week either. Been sick, but maybe he was somewhere I didn't see him. Indy, have you seen or heard from Keno?
Yeah, last I heard, Indy said that he's okay. And I was good with that, because I'm like, as long as he's okay.
Yes, you did say that. That is true. What, has he completely quit YouTube or what? I mean, my goodness. I was gone all week, but he's been gone now for going on a month, hasn't he? Been a while since I've seen him.
Yeah, I'd say at least a month.
Exactly, Clay. He said we will be paying
$50.
Yeah, for.
Seems like it already is.
Well, I ain't we buying no Big Mac. I might buy something from the Dairy Queen here, but they ain't got a
fast food. But I don't even remember where. I think it might have been Taco Bell last time I went to fast food. It's been a while, but I didn't even get much, and it was like $12. I'm like, what happened to? I mean, I remember I used to get for $5. I used to get enough food to feed me and two of my friends.
Yeah. Chessboard says, Ronnie, several folks are complaining they cannot get their medications. That's right. I know a few that are having the same problem. So far, I haven't had that problem getting mine, but I do know some folks that having to wait a week or two or longer to get theirs. 𝗙𝗶𝗿, that's right, David, and welcome, David. 𝗙𝗶𝗿.
Aloha, brother David. 𝗙𝗶𝗿.
I sometimes think he's making fun of my way of talking, but I don't care. I got to ask him a question, though. Did you enjoy my singing last night, David? And are your ears any better today?
Are your ears still ringing?
Yeah. Because I tried my best to rupture them eardrums for anybody that was listening.
Hey, butterfly. Aloha, butterfly.
And I don't see butterfly. Where is she? Where is she? There's Gigi. Hello, Gigi. Welcome, girl. And by the way, I hope everybody remember to hit the like button. Did you like it?
The like.
There's butterfly. Hello, butterfly.
We have 40 likes combined.
Is that all?
I have 16. You have 24.
Well,
my ears are sore.
Well, then I accomplished my goal, David, with my singing. Let me grab me another cup of coffee beers. It's just right there. I'll be right back.
Okay, right on. My ears are sore. David's funny. We should have David up for the second hour. What is it? It's yeah, it's still middle of the day for David. What do you say, Samoan? You want to come up for the second hour? Special guest? Cheryl Rich. Aloha. He sang on Creek Squad's channel.
Yeah, I was singing my ass off last night, Cheryl. You should have been there. Of course, it was kind of late. I think it's about midnight when I got on with Creek. Somewhere along in there.
William said, Ronnie, do you realize I have a nickname? The announcer isn't my nickname.
No, that's your official name, William. It's not a nickname. And I always say, Mr. William Gramer, our announcer. I thought you liked being an announcer or being called an announcer.
You're our announcer.
That's right. Dang it, that's right.
Maybe today's, since Samoan Watchman didn't respond yet, if he can come up on the second hour, but maybe today's the day that 𝗙𝗵𝗿 can do it.
Oh, yeah. No, Charlie won't ever do it. Justin, what's up, brother? Good to see you, Justin.
Hey, Justin, aloha.
David says, I'm here watching my bank.
Sounds like a big hole.
On account of my wife wanting to treat everyone at BJ's out of nowhere. Well, you can afford it.
Well, then he said, I'm going to be Uber delivering for the rest of my life to patch this hole in my pocket. Sounds like a big hole.
I think he's just making up excuses not to come up. Is what I think. Elvis is in the house. What's up, Elvis?
Mr. B.
Don't you see it's Mr. B? Oh, you do that and you'll definitely be in trouble when you get home or when she gets home. I dare you to do that, David. I double dog dare you.
That's a pain though when you have to do that, because then they like cancel your card and then you got to wait to get the new card and you go through all that. Such a pain in the ass.
Yeah, they tried to kill mine. Well, they did kill it for a day or two. Let's see, it's last week.
Snooks.
I went to get something at the store, and they wouldn't let me get it because my credit card was rejected. And I mean, I know I had plenty of money in there. So anyway, I came home and looked on my phone, and a day or two before, they had sent me a message, that something, I don't remember what it was, but and asked me, was those charges mine? Which they were. They was thinking it was fraud, whatever the hell it was now. But anyway, I said, yeah. And so they turned it right back on. But I made that trip to the store for nothing, because I didn't have any money on me. All I had was the card.
Right. Yes. See, and that's like we were just saying, they could turn anything on, they can stop the food. They can stop your car. Like, if you don't have cash, everything's on card, and they decide to shut that off.
That's right. They damn sure can.
If. What's up, as if it's your business? Aloha, brother. Good to see you.
Little as if. Snooks. Welcome, Snooks. Too Tall Rob is in the house. What's up, Too Tall?
And a quick shout out. That just reminded me, because As If is my longest running member, and AKA Heather Joy is my second longest, and she has got her own emoji now.
Really? Well, right on.
Put it in there.
Mike Jones says, Ronnie, you can't pick on Mr. B like he lip syncs to Elvis or he'll ban you. Well, I just know that he's a damn good singer of Elvis's music. He's almost as good as me, he's getting there. And I've been tutoring him along the way. He's hard-headed, but he's getting there. Got to give Mr. B a hard time. Just got to. I hate it when he comes on, like the night we were doing karaoke, all of us, and I had sang Don't Cry Daddy. And even though I asked him to sing it, he didn't have to do it so damn good. I mean, but he did. So congratulations, Mr. B. Did you hear Trump about the White House? He said it looks like shit.
I heard something like right before we met backstage, but I was doing a bunch of stuff and I had something running. I'm gonna have to go back and look. I don't know. I heard something about they're trying to twist his words again because he said something and they're like leaving half of it out, and they're but actually what he said was 100% true. But they're orange man bad.
Well, it probably does look like shit. Houses, when people don't live in them, they tend to go down faster for whatever reason. And there's not really been anyone in the White House now since 2020.
Yeah.
So it's going on 3 years. Yeah, I guess it would be looking like shit. Yeah, and I hope everybody knows that this guy, the resident, it's hard for me to even say his name anymore. I hope everybody knows that he's not actually in the White House. Wherever he is, I don't know, but it's not the White House. That's one thing that makes it so hard to protest these people too, because if you go to Washington, there's no one there. I mean, they're wherever they're at, they're not there. So you go to Washington to protest, if you did go to protest, and there's nobody there to hear you protest.
As if said Zidane.
There you go.
Zidane. And the old house always looks smaller. Yes, indeed. So there's a guy I'm trying to get on my Where It Begins. And I found his channel maybe a little over a month and a half ago. And when I first found his channel, he only had like 4,000 subscribers. And then a week later, he had like 6. And a week after that, he had 8. And now he's at almost 11,000.
Damn, what's he
And
doing? Giving away money every day or what?
no, he's just consistent. His channel name is 𝗙𝗵𝗿, and he's basically a what do they call that? Like a reactor. He just basically watches short TikTok videos, but you know, he's in our world though, you know, he's awake.
Good.
And but he's just every day at 8 a.m. my time, because I think he's in Florida, but every day at 8 a.m. my time, he premieres a video. So I mean, but I'd love to have him on Where It Begins, because it's just like, you know, I mean, to do that in less than a 2-month period. Is
he getting any strikes or anything? Undoubtedly not getting that kind of subscribers.
No, because he's every single day at 8 a.m., 7 days a week too. It's, you know,
I don't know how he keeps getting strikes. Damn, I can barely say anything. They strike me.
Yeah,
sometimes I think I just come on, sit there, not say a word, and they give me a strike.
Right. This is his one from today. If you want to pull it up just to see I won't play the whole thing because I don't want to.
Welcome to my world. And if this is your first time watching, today we're going to look at weird, unconventional, creepy TikToks from all over the world, all over the internet, all over different social media accounts that have been submitted by my viewers telling me that they want me to watch these things. So that's what we're going to do. Also, I want to let you know that they are doing...
So, but yeah, that's I don't want to get any copyrights or anything on your channel, but yeah, that's him. And he just goes over these different TikTok clips and then gives his point of view on what he thinks about it, and that's it. But it's just amazing how much his channel is growing and so fast, you know. So I don't know if by chance he's watching. Rob, get a hold of me.
Well, you know, I don't know. I guess the only reason that I can think of why mine's not growing any faster than it is because, you know, I take my shows down because I don't want to lose my channel. I mean, to me, it's not worth leaving it up, you know, to get a strike and then have to wait a week before I can go back on and then get another damn strike. So I just take them down and don't have to worry about it.
Before you lost your first channel, you were close. Were you close to 1,000 or over? Because I remember you were up there at one point.
I don't remember what I had on the first one, but one of the last ones I definitely had close to 1,000. But they made sure I didn't have any, you know, to start off with again.
Right. I mean, that's still impressive though, to lose your channel and start over and then still build. Because I remember it was like half a year on mine before I hit 100 subscribers, and I remember hitting 100 and I was stoked. It's like, dude, I hit 100. I'm like bragging everywhere, and people are like, dude, it's only 100 subscribers. Like, yeah, 100. Like 100 people are subscribed to me.
Oh yeah, I know, Snooks, but for whatever reason, they don't mess with me near as much when I take them down.
Dude, that is so true. Just hold on, let me pull it up. On Thursday, I got a copyright strike. Or no, copyright claim. All right, it's not a strike. This is not a strike, it's a claim. But anyway, from a video. When was this video from? It was like one of the very first videos I did. So like 2 years ago, maybe.
Welcome, Chickens of War. God, I don't know. It seems like I've been on longer than 2 years, but maybe not.
Yeah, I don't even remember making this video, and it was only a minute long. So they went all the way back that far. And now the monetization is, I'm like, I don't even care. I forgot I even had that video. Who cares? Sure, nobody watches it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Indy. Oh, the wrong one. That ain't Indy. Thank you, Indy. I appreciate that. I am on Rumble. And regardless, I'll be taking my videos down. I mean, because, you know, when, like today, talking about Israel and stuff, I don't know. You never know what they're going to hit you for, and that's the problem.
Right.
So I just do not take a chance. Oh, I've definitely been hitting their nerves, Mike. No doubt about it.
I just gave you a like on Rumble.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Ridge Runner, welcome, brother. Good to see you. I mean, to me, I want to grow as much as anybody else does, grow my channel, but it's not worth it to, leave a video up and then get a strike for it. At least not to me, it's not, because it's now I have to change phone numbers and everything else to get a new channel. Not to mention emails, and I already got 3 or 4 of those because of all the crap in the past with them. Oh yeah, Mr. B, exactly. Make sure I got the right one this time.
Yeah, if it fits their narrative.
That's right.
All day long.
Absolutely.
It's who was I listening to? Oh man, who was it? I was listening to, it's gonna drive me nuts to remember who it was, but I was listening to someone either yesterday or the day before, and it threw me off because I was like, what? You're just figuring this out? Because she was like, yeah, YouTube, they're censoring everyone. And I'm like, this has been happening for years. Where have you been? And then I figured it out. And it's like, oh, because they weren't censoring what you wanted to say for all those years, but now what you want to say they're censoring. So now you notice that. It's like, we've been saying this shit for what, 4 years, 5 years that they're censoring. But now that they're individually affected by it, now they notice it.
Yeah. Exactly. I think what it is, and the reason they do it is because they want to go back. They want people to, they're smoking out conservatives is what they're doing. So they want you to say the things that they don't really want you to say when they say, oh, it's okay, go ahead and do it. Then a year or two later, they go back and give you all the strikes and take you out.
Yep.
At least that's the way they done me. They had to, because I didn't even have a warning on my last 2 channels.
Yeah, which is messed up too. I mean,
oh, it is.
Just nothing, just boop, gone. Like, I mean, really? You got at least, they did your execution style.
That's exactly right. Well, it surprised the hell out of me to get up that morning and both my channels gone. And so that's why I take them down now, because I'm not going to stop talking about the things I want to talk about. And that's just all there is to it. And I know they can go back now and look at it, I mean, I know just because I take them down, don't mean that they can't look at it. I know they still can.
Right.
But it's kind of like, poking a line or something. You poke it 3 or 4 times. And I guess maybe the way they look at it, and I don't know if it is or not, but as long as it's not up on the, as long as you don't leave it up and anybody and everybody can come along and see it later, maybe that's got something to do with it. Maybe it don't. I don't know. But all I know is so far, knock on wood, thank God and everything else, I haven't even gotten a warning. Well, I did get a warning. I take that back. I did get 1 warning. And they took me down that night, right in the middle of my show.
But Ronnie's like, can't nobody hold me down. Oh no, I got to keep on moving.
That's right. And talking. Well, the way I look at it, there's just no, it's like a guy, that wants to play music, but they only let him play one kind of music. And it ain't the kind of music that he's into.
Yep.
Let's say you're into country music, for instance, but they won't let you play anything but jazz.
Right. You're in the country, but you have to play Megadeth.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, anything but heavy metal.
That's where I look at it, man.
Yeah, that's that's very true. I mean, it's like, I love doing plumbing. I love my job, but it's like, if they told me that, nope, you got to be an electrician, I'd be like, no, I don't want to do that. Only way you're going to make it. Right on, Chris Gilbert. Mahalo. Absolutely, Mike Jones. Absolutely.
That's definitely what I'm trying to do, and that's definitely what I'm going to keep doing as long as the good Lord puts breath in my lungs.
Yep, Dennis. They don't like the truth.
They sure as the crap don't.
And what gets me is what is it? What does it matter? Like, if it's the truth or if we're just full of shit, who cares?
Undoubtedly,
You know what
they
I mean?
do.
Only people are going to watch what they want to watch. So it's not like we're forcing people to listen to what we have to say. It's like, who fucking cares? Just
That
let
definitely
people
should be
say
the
what
way
they
it
want
is.
to say. Just
Yeah, thank you, Mike. Exactly. I ain't backing
I
down.
won't back down.
Gonna
Right.
stand my ground.
You're gonna have Tom Petty stuck in my head all day now. Now I'm gonna have to do karaoke later.
And you cannot play a song, but there are a million channels with that song. Absolutely, chessboard. That's absolutely right. Mare, welcome, Mare. Good to see you, girl. Well, I know is, when you, and I think in any country you ought to be able to tell the truth, but in this one, we have supposed to have freedom of speech, and I know I've said this a million times, but it's exactly the way I feel. Even if let's say you have 100 people watching, and 95 don't agree with you, well, the other 5 do, and if the 95 don't believe it, they can always leave. Nobody's making them watch, or listen to you. So why they keep doing what they do, I don't know. But this country is supposed to have free speech. Now I understand all the crap about it, it being a private company and all that, but still, I don't think they ought to be able to stop free speech. But they can. Hello, Miss Karen. Good to see you, girl. Karen
They
Reese.
can and they do. Karen Reese, aloha.
Thank you, Miss Karen. Well, I got me some new glasses. That's what it is. I got me some new glasses. Just got them today. The other ones had a scratch right across the middle. And so I had to look this way or that way, to be able to read anything.
They look good too.
Well, and the other ones, they're the real fragile kind, I guess you'd say. They got the thin earpieces and everything. So I got me some big ones this time. Hopefully they won't be so damn easy to break or whatever. Of course, my other ones, now I've sat down on them about 1,000,000 times. Forgot I'll get up and lay them in my chair, forget I lay them there, then sit down on them. And it just twist the crap out of them in every direction. But they still work. It's just the lenses are scratched and it's hard for me to see out of them.
That's my issue I have going on now is because I was just talking to someone recently about insurance, and it was last night backstage with Creek and Angelique and Steve-O. But how insurance, like dental is usually never included in insurance, or it's a lot extra, and vision usually isn't included. And I've had perfect vision. Now my hearing has always sucked since my early 20s. Plus I got tinnitus and all that, but my vision's always been perfect. Not anymore. So, I mean, I even have the magnifying thing on my phone. Every time I read something, I gotta grab my phone and hold the magnifying thing up. And so, I need to go to an eye doctor, but then that costs money. And then I'm gonna have to get glasses, and then that costs money.
Well, I heard that. Well, the thing with me is when I'm in the daytime anyway, I don't trust myself driving at night anymore. But in the daytime, I don't need glasses to drive. I mean, I can see pretty darn good. But at night, and when I'm trying to read something, I mean, it's just a blur. I can't.
Right. That's my only driving. I'm good. I mean, at night, the only thing that pisses me off is headlights. If you're on just a 2-lane or 2-lane road, you're going this way and the car's coming. It seems like everyone's got their brights on for some reason. But my thing is with reading. Reading, I have to hold it as far as I can away to be able to read it.
Mr. B says, so many people have become so complacent and are fine with government controlling every aspect of their lives. Those will never wake up. Absolutely, Mr. B.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Unfortunately, that's true.
Awaken Trillium, hello and welcome. But, you know, I think if this what's coming up, if I'm right, and I think I am, about the nuclear war thing coming up, if this don't wake people up, then I don't know what the hell it's going to take. I mean, after all that the resident hadn't done, you know, and how he screwed everything up, that hadn't seemed to wake anybody up. So maybe this is what's coming up will. And not only that, but I heard this past week, I don't know what day I seen it, but they're about to bring in the, what's it called, a CBDC or whatever the hell it's called, you know, their new money system where they track your money and you can only spend it on what they tell you to spend it on.
Okay, yeah. I don't know what it's called, but yeah.
It's CBDC or something like that. But I mean, all this stuff, you know, and who in the world, I don't care how stupid you are, who would want your money tracked by your government, and them, particularly with them telling you what you can buy? I mean, can you buy a loaf of Mrs. Bear's bread, or does it have to be Wonder? You know,
right. Well, I mean, it's like I was saying earlier with what Steve was saying about that ordinance and not being able to cruise. It's like, who are you to tell me where I can drive my car? And who are you to tell me what I can spend my money on? What, you know?
Exactly.
Like,
well, we're just living in a very bad system right now. That's all there is to it.
Land of the fee and home of the slave.
Yep. And until we get rid of these people, whatever it takes. And one other thing I want to say about all this, you know, if our military don't step in here pretty damn soon and do what they're supposed to do, I mean, it is the military's duty, according, I believe it's the Constitution, I'm pretty sure it's in the Constitution, that they are, when the government is like it is now, that they are supposed to step in. It's their duty to step in and take these bad people out. Otherwise, the whole country is at risk of civil war or whatever. And so that's what they're supposed to do. If they don't do it pretty soon, well then, and just think this, I know the border's been wide open now for 3 years, but there were probably millions of terrorists here already in cells just waiting to be told, hey, go for it. And with all these people coming across, who knows how many more they've added to those cells. I know there were several cells between here and Houston here a couple of years ago. I mean, it was reported on the news and everywhere about these terrorist cells. They won't do nothing to them. So, you know, with all that stuff, but this is why, at least one reason why I think the military was on the move here, about a month and a half ago. I mean, they were moving everywhere in Oregon, crap, you know, all over the country. They were tanks out on the roads, driving down the road. But the point is, again,
you
know, everybody needs.
Indy said, remember how many were released from their prison sentences during the...
Yeah, exactly, Indy. Exactly.
Well, since we're coming up on 1 hour and nobody's bit yet, you think Mr. B would want to join? Because I heard Mr. B on your channel once, and I still remember that job too, because that was a great show. But I think Mr. B.
I don't know. I can't understand that guy.
Okay, what about Elvis?
Okay, Elvis is fine. Well, Elvis, what do you say?
Hey,
don't say no.
Aloha. Just seen Nasara in chat.
There she is right there. What's up, Nasara? Good to see you. Welcome, girl. I agree. That's exactly what they need to do. But, you know, if they don't, well, then who's it going to be up to other than the people of this country to do what the military is supposed to do? I sure don't want to see it come to that, when the military can take care of it pretty quick. But will they? I doubt it. You don't like Mr. B either. He's a weenie, huh? Oh, well, that don't answer the question, Elvis.
I like Dennis's typo. He popped over to drop a like on my channel, but he pooped over. You know, come over to my channel and poop and then leave. Come on, man.
I hope you wiped.
Clean up on aisle 3. All right, I think Elvis is thinking about it, or I think he's getting his shit together and ready.
Well, all he's got to do is get on the computer. He's on the computer now, so all he's got to do is turn the camera on. Boom, there he is.
Yeah, what he said.
Come on, Elvis. Well, the bliss of my soul, what's wrong with you? That's all I'm going to sing. I sang too much last night. And here's the thing about, you know, anything, you know, like we cap this show, it's supposed to be capping it at 2 hours anyway. And the thing is, if you go too long, well then, or like last night, you know, if you sang in my case, if you sang too much, well then people don't want to hear you anymore. So I got to keep it down there, you know, so people, and, you know, give people's ears time to heal and everything.
And so product on demand. You can't give them too much at once. You got to make them want more. You got to.
There you go. That's right.
A reason to come back. Product on demand.
All right, Mr. B. Oh, Mr. B, don't forget to hit the like button before you come up, though.
Let's see. I'll forward him the email.
All right. Just don't poop the bed, says Mr. Joker, and I agree. You know what? I did that once when I was a little boy. I think I was about 4 years old. I was sick. I didn't know I was that sick when I went to bed. And in the wintertime, there was 4 of us boys, and we all slept together, you know, to stay warm because, you know, we had a wood burning stove when it went out at night. Well, it was just out for the night. And that night I pooped all over the bed, man. I mean, big time. And I think I would have been killed by my older brothers if my mom and dad hadn't been there. But luckily they were there. I didn't like it either. I was mad at my damn self. But
you were a kid, though. I mean, all kids do that. I'm sure every kid is shit the bed.
Well, I know I did. And man, I'm telling you, it was a mess too. Because, you know, when you're sick and you got that old stomach bug or whatever, it's not just regular crap. I mean, it comes out like pee.
Yep. Yeah, that's you're pissing out of your ass. It happens. There's times you cannot control.
Yeah, I tell you, man, Hulke has been going to town. I mean, I think he's on around the clock now.
Yeah, last couple of days, not all of it, but I've been listening to and yeah, he's been going for a while too.
Yeah, I can't go that long. I mean, everything gives out on me. Yeah, my butt, my back, my neck.
You start getting rug burn on your ass cheeks. Your back starts hurting.
But see, now I know that Hulke is up and doing things, you know, feeding his dog, cooking, whatever. You know, so he gets a little exercise while the videos are playing. And I don't blame him a damn bit. I get up and move around a little bit myself, but I don't move around as much as he does.
Yeah. Yeah, like when I do a couple weeks ago when I did with Doc Danger, his road show came over. Yeah, when the video is playing, I get up and move around, you know, but
he says he did one, started at midnight last night and ended at 5 this morning. Well, you're a very young man, though, Hulke. That's how you can do all that stuff. A young, healthy man. Just kidding you, Hulke.
What's Dennis? Dennis talking about, man, this conversation has gone to shit. It's all your fault.
Conversation went to shit, huh? Well, it started off good though, didn't it, Dennis?
See what happens. You go. No good deed goes unpunished. You go over to give me a like, which thank you, I appreciate.
Where
and
you
now
going,
you got
Charlie?
other shit.
Don't
Oh,
leave
Charlie.
Charlie. You know, one of these days, or somehow or another, we're going to have to book Charlie on here, I guess, and get a contract signed and everything so we can get him up here.
We should have it by October 2024.
You think?
By then, we should have him booked and scheduled. We'll make it happen.
Oh, well, Hawk, if you're just 60, then you are a young man. My goodness. I mean, I had never seen you on camera, so I didn't know how old you were. But 60 is not old at all. Well, the only time I ever seen him was on your show, but the camera was quite a ways away, and he was singing, and you couldn't tell I couldn't tell what he looked like.
William, I come back from a Hodge Twins video, and you guys are talking about pooping the bed. Damn,
well, we got to try to stay up with the Hodge Twins. Can't let them get too far ahead.
Yeah, it's a damn good show.
But you know what? I agree with what Hawk said, though. I think people are definitely wanting information. I know when my shows are on, or when I'm on, that most of the time there's everybody that was there. I mean, let's say if I had 30 in there, there's generally around that many people when I go off. So, yeah, I agree that people are definitely wanting information, but after a while, I'm speaking for myself now. I just get wore out and can't go any farther. It's not that I want to go off. It's just that my ass and everything can't take no more. Nah, William, we could stay up the Hodge Twins very easily. I just don't try. I mean, I could. I'm just kidding. I couldn't be as funny as they are if I tried 1,000 years. Ain't no way.
Because those guys are actually actual comedians.
Oh, I believe it.
They used to do tours or whatever, but yeah, they did because they're twins and they have this whole.
So they were stand-up comedians.
Yep. And then like 20. I don't remember what year it was, but the whole Trump years. Then they started doing YouTube, and then they got big there. And I don't know if they still do stand-up or once in a while, but they were originally stand-up comedians.
Well, I certainly didn't know that. No wonder they're so damn good at it.
It's funny watching them too, because you can kind of tell like how they get irritated with each other. Like,
yeah,
it's just, you get to see that like brotherly.
You know what? I usually don't drink coffee, but when I do, I drink it in this cup. It's kind of like that beer commercial, what's it? Doss something.
Yeah, 𝗙𝗶𝗿 guy, or who is he? The smartest man in the world? What do they call that dude?
The handsomest man in the world, last I seen.
Something like that, yeah. They got some good ones though. I don't always fill in the blank, but when I do. Oh, they do. William said they still do stand up right now. Dennis is back. He wiped. He's good. He's clean.
Well, welcome back, Dennis. Welcome back. And Cheryl, yeah, I'll probably go on about 9, something like that. So be sure and be there. And here, believe it or not, here is Elvis the Pelvis. What's going on, Elvis?
Hey, what's up, gentlemen?
Ain't that a handsome cap?
It sure is.
Yeah, that's my.
Only one thing wrong with it, though.
What's that?
It says Trump 2024. I think he's still president now. So,
bro, nothing would surprise me right now.
Well, then 2024 would be his third term then.
Yeah. Well, here's the way I think it's going to work out. And y'all shoot this down if you want to. It's fine with me. But I think that once the resident is gone, then somehow or another, however this works out, I don't know. But I think that somehow Trump's going to wind up back in office, and he'll have this term, whatever's left of the resident's term, which won't be much, and then he can run again. Well, but I think he's president anyway, so it don't really matter. You know,
well, if you think about it, being commander-in-chief and being president is two different things.
They definitely are.
You know, he still could be commander-in-chief, and
that's what I mean when I say president.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
So technically, he is not in a term. Technically,
exactly. Yeah. Joe Blow is the president of the bankrupt corporation. Is what he is.
Well, he's the visual mouthpiece. You know, who's pulling the strings behind him. We know who's doing that, but.
Well, and I'm not trying to be an argumentative here or nothing, but myself, I don't think that Obama really has anything to do with it. Could be wrong, but I think that he was placed in there by Trump and all of them to carry out these dirty deeds, because Joe he's been gone since 2019. If you get my drift.
So we're told, yeah.
And so this
I
guy's
think
in there. And,
I think Obama is only because it's just, I don't know, that whole statement he made that, if I could be in the basement, my sweatpants, if I could be in the basement in a pair of sweatpants.
He all but said in that. Yeah, he all but said outright in that interview that he was running things behind the scene. I don't think it's just him. I think it's several of them that are trying to end what Obama started, Well,
let me ask you this, Mr. B, what you think about this, that and we all know about Q and everything. Well, what if Q or what if Obama was more or less made to say that? Let's say that he was going to get whatever jail term or whatever, and they said, all right, you play along with us, and your punishment will be less. And so they told him to say that, because I think the whole thing was that this whole thing is an act, a play, a movie, whatever you want to call it. And I think it's been set up to literally scare the crap out of us at the end, which I think is coming here pretty soon. And that a lot of these people that are, it seems that like they're walking the street, but I don't think they really are, except when the time is right.
I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case, because it makes sense. Like, say this, because then people are going to think it and believe it, and distraction,
Yes.
Well, everything has been a distraction, that's for sure.
It has. Like Cola says here, Q said save Israel for last. And exactly. And that's where we're at now, is Israel. But I think myself, and I agree with what you said there, Cola. But when you dig on into it, I think Switzerland may wind up being last.
Well, that's the root of everything right there, right? I mean, if you've done your research and you've dug deep enough, you know that the biggest majority of the evil stems from Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's
why they've always been neutral.
That's the worst of the worst right there.
It is. And, what I have found here lately is that, and I know you got to take all this with a grain of salt, and I have, but I found that the CIA's headquarters are in Switzerland, way underground, and on top of that, it's underwater. That's where they've got their main headquarters. But I don't think it's just the CIA that's got headquarters there. I think it's Mossad and all of them, But and I seen a picture. Now, who knows if this picture was real or not? I'm not saying it was. I'm not saying it wasn't. But it's a gigantic place underwater and, underground. But I also heard that it had already been taken out by the French Foreign Legion. Don't know if that's true or not. Just passing it along. Yeah. But regardless, like you said, Switzerland is a very evil place. That's why they've always been neutral in all the wars.
Yeah, chessboard. Now you're going into a topic that I don't really want to discuss on here. The Vatican's part of the evil goes really deep into the child area, and I don't want to go there.
I don't care if you want to go there, go there. I'll take it down anyway.
And real quick though, too, is like Salt and Light said. That just reminded me because this is one of my first videos too.
Let me see.
But because they have slipped and said that name, and this is one of my first videos. I put it backstage. It's only 50 seconds.
Okay, let me find. There it is.
But you're right, Salt and Light.
A little bird told me that you said you might be resigning the job this year. Say it isn't so. Is it true?
I don't know when I'm leaving. This is an honor and a privilege, and I love working for President Biden every single day. I love spending time with him, hearing what's on his mind. I don't know when I'm leaving. This is an honor and a privilege, and I love working for President Biden every single day. President Biden, and I love working for President Biden, everything for President Biden.
Shall set you free.
She should have just said "Oh Biden" and got it over with.
Right.
I had 3,000 views on that too. I forgot about that video until Salt and Light said that. I was like, "Yeah, you're right," because they.
And again, I go back though to my theory, and that's all it is—a theory about them being. Because I think these people here are also in the same shape that I was talking about Obama might be, with the deal mate. Then I ain't saying I'm right. I'm just saying, that it's a very good possibility because I honestly think that Biden was put there to do all these bad things that had to be done. I mean, because it's just so crazy the way this all came about. Take the mail-in voting, for instance. And, Trump talked about this, for a year or maybe longer before the election. He didn't need Bill Barr to go out or to order the agents to go out and, and watch the voting places. He could have done it himself. He's the president's the top law enforcement officer in the land. So he could have done it himself, but he didn't do it. He could have said, Bill Barr, you're fired, and done it himself. Or he didn't even have to fire him. He still could have done it. So why didn't he? Because I think it was all a plan. In the plan. Could be wrong, but.
Yeah, I don't know so much as just the higher echelon that's maybe the lowers capitulated, I think the higher ups are so embedded in the evil, man, that they would never give in. You know what I'm saying? They would never submit to doing something that went. I mean, you got to keep in mind, these guys are very, the evil runs very deep with their rituals and everything.
Oh, no
and
shit.
They don't want to lose their rank in those organizations. They're not going to give in one way or the other. They're going to keep pushing their agenda until it's complete. They're not going to stop. They have to be taken out. They're not going to stop. You know, as far as Obama and HRC and the Bush family and the royals, you know, and all the higher echelon people, they're not going to capitulate under no circumstances. They're going to continue their agenda, and they're going to carry it out.
What's up, chap? Good to see you, brother. Welcome.
Yep.
Let's see. Hawk here it is right here. He's in response to Obama in the basement. Trump stated this week they're going to federalize D.C., meaning through the enemy occupying D.C. for this period of time. When it is federalized, the enemy destroyed and D.C. returns to statehood. Yeah, I totally agree. I didn't hear him say that, but I know they gave him it was in 2021, I think it was January 2021. They'd been in there a year. The resident had been there a year. And so they gave him an opportunity to surrender, you know, or face the consequences later on. Well, they chose to face the consequences later on. So, yeah, I agree, Hawk.
Yeah.
I want to give two quick shout outs real quick. One to Unspecified Podcast. Aloha, brother.
Is he here? There he is.
For everyone here that loves the karaoke, Deb's Wood Burning, check out her channel.
Every night.
Awesome channel every night. And she's just good people, great channel, great karaoke show. Definitely
incredible.
Go check her out.
Yeah, incredible community too. Yeah. Just very loving people.
Yeah, it's awesome. Really awesome.
She's on at 10:30 Central every single night. She never misses a night. So.
Hawk says it has to be 3 years occupation. I don't doubt that at all, Hawk. I think what I was thinking about is it has to be. It was a year when they had to warn them. You know, after that.
But then he said that's by law or war manual.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, and believe me, I've read that law of war manual until my eyeballs almost fell out. But I'm just not the type of guy that can take in all this legalese, you know, and get it into my head right. It just, I ain't the lawyerly type. That's for damn sure.
I agree. Me either, but I don't.
I need it on layman's terms.
Yeah,
that's exactly right. And I have read it though. I researched from 11.1, I think it was, to 11.5 or whatever in the law of war manual. And that's a lot of reading. It don't sound like much, but when you go to reading it, it's a lot, particularly when it's legalese. But I wanted to understand it in the world's worst way. And after doing all that reading, and I didn't just read it once, I read it 2 or 3 times. I didn't understand it a bit better after the 2 or 3 times of reading it than I did before the first one.
Well, when you don't go to law school, the wording doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
They sure don't. I don't see how sometimes they get it through the lawyers' heads what the hell they're talking about.
Well, go to law school. I mean, you're trained to deceive and lie. That's how you win cases.
Lying is at the top of the list there.
All the fancy schmancy words that don't mean shit.
Yeah, you don't have to be right. You just got to be a good storyteller.
Yep.
And Joe's right here too. The Art of War. That is another big one that Trump goes by. The Art of War, exactly. And there's another one, the one by the Chinese guy. That may be the one he's talking about, the Art of War. No, it ain't. What's the name of that Chinese guy? Sitzu or some crap like that, which I have not read, but I've heard a lot about it. But when you put all those things together, and like Joe said there, the Art of War basically tells everything you need to know in there. I mean, that's what we're going through now, what we've been going through is basically told about in the Art of War. Sun 2.
Yes.
Thank you.
Soon.
Thank you, chap.
Zoom 2.
Oh my God.
And Hawk says it's Sun Tzu. Well, they're both pretty darn close. I mean, to each other.
Oh, Sun Tzu, so bright. The sun.
Absolutely. And I got to tell y'all,
it was 𝗏𝗏.
Like that book, China Overpopulated by 𝗏𝗏𝗏.
I got to tell you, Unspecified Podcast they got a darn good show too. I mean, they don't go off into the rabbit holes like I do, but they still got a damn good show that offers up a lot of news and their commentary on everything. They're just good at it.
Well, I'd sure like to have some of my content back. YouTube. I'd like to have some of it back. Facebook. Over 200 or over 2,000 shows. Just
good.
And what, they just take that and you lose it. You
gone.
Damn.
Bro, I had a group channel on Facebook for over 3.5 years and almost 5,000 subscribers, and all I did was deep dives, and they shut the community down and took every video I had.
Yeah, so unless you have like a copy of it or something, it's just poof, like a fart in the wind.
Or just gone. Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't save them, then, which I didn't either. I know I didn't have nowhere near as many as you, Mr. B, but I mean, you don't want to lose me if you just got one.
Yeah, I went into a lot of places people were afraid to go, man. I talked about a lot of stuff. I spent 3.5 years just tracing ancestries on slavery, from across Europe, from the 1500s all the way to current time.
So you went back to the 1400s?
Yeah.
And the reason I asked you that is because, and I'm not saying it's true because I haven't researched this at all, but I've been hearing people talk about, not only on YouTube, but on Rumble also, and what they're saying, and tell me if this is correct, Mr. B, is that the blacks were here first when the Spaniards or whoever got over here first. When they got here, that the blacks are were the true Indians, and
that's not the case I found, so I don't know.
Ooh, yeah, keep going.
I traced it all the way across Europe to where it came to the ports over by Spain and England and stuff, and how the first slaves were brought to the U.S. I even went into, I would have to find, I got papers, boxes and boxes of files out in the garage. I mean, I'd have to find them, but it traced them all the way over to the guy that originally brought the slaves to the U.S. And all the name changes, the illegal adoptions, the incest, giving children to prominent families, giving children to other prominent families so they could keep the bloodline clean. I mean, I went into all of that, and it was very, very extensive. It was a 4-hour show just to cover all it, and that was nonstop talking, reading off of a script I had written out just to get all the names and the families in.
Miss 𝗙𝗏𝗏, hello and welcome, Kara. Good to see you, girl.
𝗙𝗏𝗏, really good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while.
It's been a long time. But
that's like Wall Street. Do you know how Wall Street got its name, guys?
Oh yeah, that's because it was a slave market, and
yeah, it used to be a dirt road, no buildings, and they'd come in on the East River with the ships. That's where they unloaded the slaves, and they lined them up down that dirt road, and the masters or owners would walk down that road and pick and choose what they wanted, and what they didn't want were killed and buried right there on site. So supposedly there's tens and tens of thousands of slave bodies that laid the foundation for what we now know as Wall Street.
Exactly.
Shit, I didn't
I've
know
heard that
that.
in more than one
Wow.
place. I mean, I've heard that in many, many places. So you're absolutely right, Mr. B.
That's how it got the name wall,
Mm-hmm.
because of the walls of the slaves that they would line up on both sides. Very
And
crazy.
it's
Huh?
interesting what Hawk said too, that the blacks were the masters and the whites were the slaves. There were more black skin owners of slaves than there were white.
There absolutely was.
Oh,
Who do
yeah. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. Who
I
do
had
you
that up-
think sold them from over there?
Right.
They were enslaved over there. They were before they were enslaved here. You
But
know?
here's, I got that. I first heard that on, dang, I can't remember whose show it was on now. It was on YouTube. I know that. But they were talking, there was a bunch of black dudes talking about, not just black dudes, but there were some white guys and black guys there. But they were talking about the blacks being the Indians, the first ones here, in other words. And I thought, what, man, y'all about full of shit. And so anyway, stumbling through, I wasn't really searching for anything to do with blacks, but I just happened to come across it. And that's what they were saying. I don't remember what channel this was either. And I saw this on a couple of different channels. But that the blacks, they were saying that the blacks were the first ones here. And that the Eskimos from, the North Pole, or wherever they're at, were shipped in here to look like American Indians.
No, there were actually people here before Indians, before Spaniards, before blacks. There was a landmass that connected Europe to North America continent. There was a landmass at one time, and it got done away with during that Ice Age, I guess it was.
Ain't that the Aleutian Islands that you're talking about?
No. What was the
Welcome,
mass?
country boy. Good to see you.
I can't remember off the top of my head what the landmass was called, Ronnie. It was like it just connected all the continents, at the north side. And they're still finding, like, up in Antarctica, woolly mammoth bones and stuff like that from where they crossed over. And I know for a fact there were Vikings that came across that way. And even before them, even with the hunter-gatherer, Cro-Magnon, caveman days, whatever you want to call it, they had made their way across that landmass also. And this was way, way before the Indians ever, where they came from, I don't know. I've never checked into that. But there were actually people here before all of that.
Well, country boy archaeologist says the Native Americans were blacks. That's fact.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, bro, Christianity began in Africa, regardless of what people tell you. That's where it began. That's where the Garden of Eden actually was. So it's not always been called Africa. This is like the fourth name of Africa.
Well, I was reading the other day, Mr. B, about Christ being like he was in, and I forgot the actual country, but it was either Spain or Italy or somewhere like that, where Christ actually was. They were saying he never was in Israel, and I don't think I know he wasn't a Jew, but that's the story we're fed. Now, whether it's true about him being born and raised in wherever that country was other than Israel, I don't know. But I do know that there are maps, and I wished I could have downloaded that one, but that day, but you have to buy the map, and boy, it was high. It was a real old map, and it was showing that the United States, way back in time, how had Israel was on the West Coast, like the countries that they fought against were down in the Southeast and up in the Northeast. It's just scattered out across America. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying it's what this map showed. And so, there was a Red Sea that separated California. I think it's called a Salton Sea now, but back then it was called the Red Sea, that separated California from the rest of the country. And let's see, I think I got that right. I'm pretty sure I do. But anyway, now it's called the Salton Sea, and it's really not a sea at all anymore. It's just, maybe a little trickle. But that map, whether it was real or not, I don't know. Man, I tried to download that thing for an hour and I couldn't get it to download because you got to buy it, and it was expensive, so I wouldn't know where I was going to buy it.
Well, you take into consideration, almost 77% of the Earth's population is black. That's a lot. I mean, that's a lot.
Darn sure is. I didn't know it was that high, but
yeah, it's almost 77%. And you got to take into account, the black Americans here. You got to take in all the continents across Europe, Africa, their Aborigines. And there's several tribes that's never even seen civilization that are of a black race that's been there for millenniums. I mean, they've been there for centuries.
It's amazing, what you can find without, even if you're not, and like with me, most of the time I'm not even researching what I come across, and that's how it pops up like it does. I don't know, but that's how it does with me most of the time. And like with the blacks being the Indians and the Red Sea out in California. And I know that Lowell knows a lot about the Red Sea and all, because I don't think it was that same map that he showed that day, but there was a Red Sea there at one time.
Mm-hmm. And
so what the implication is, is with Israel being there, they were, and when they when Moses crossed the Red Sea, well, they weren't in Israel that we know now. They were here. In other words, this is the true Israel, is what it's getting down to.
Mm.
Whether that's true or not, I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying that's what the map showed.
Yeah. Country boy. Yeah. History has actually been rewritten more times than you even realize. That's what I try to preach to everybody. You have to unlearn. You have to teach yourself to unlearn everything you've been taught and do the research and find out the truths, because it's out there. The truth is out there if you dig deep enough for it.
It certainly is. And, you may have to, it may take you a month or two, but it's there.
Yeah. You can't just take one narrative of history. Our history may be totally different from somewhere else in another country. You have to take into account both sides of it and then try to decipher what part is right, because you're only going to get the part that makes your country look good. That's all you're going to get. You're not going to get the truth. You're going to get what they want you to know.
Yep. And like Deb says too, true, they're still rewriting it today. It's like,
yes.
It's been going on since before Roman days, guys, way before. We're talking biblical days. They write down what they want you to know, and they leave the rest out.
That's right. They write it however they want to write it.
And it may not always be truths.
Well, it has a little bit of truth in it.
Well, yeah, everything does.
Yeah.
But I think it's more of a form of control than it is truth.
Yeah, well, it's like they say, to the victor go the spoils. And that's exactly what happens with war. The country that wins the war writes the history books.
Mm.
Whether it's right or wrong, most time it's wrong, because they don't want to, give up their real story about how crooked they were, and they're the ones that started the war to begin with and stuff like that.
That's why we only get their narrative and not any other.
That's right.
And that's why YouTube's ass Holio and they censor everybody.
Amen, brother.
That's right. They don't want you knowing the truth.
But that's every form of mainstream media is that way, if you think about it. The only reason we have a different point of view on the mainstream news agencies, you have Fox spewing the right, you have CNN spewing the left, and all that. The only purpose is it's the same side, two different sides of the same coin. They're just trying to keep us divided and fighting amongst ourselves, because it's easier to control two separate, smaller factions than if everybody comes together.
Absolutely.
It's just the way it is.
Just checking Rumble. We're going good on Rumble too. So I need to check it one more time.
Rumble.
Yeah,
Rumbling
until we all come together, guys. I mean, we're never gonna advance to the next phase of humanity. I mean, they have to keep us separated because the power is too great. If we all come together, they can't do anything then. And that's why they're running scared now. Too many people are waking up.
That's exactly right. Exactly right, Mr. B. And I believe what they're working on now is the liberals. You know, they're bent and determined to wake all these people up one way or another. You know, all that they can wake up. Mm-hmm. There's going to be some that can wake up for nothing.
Bro, there's a lot that's going to be completely lost.
Yes.
They're perfectly happy with the status quo.
They are.
You know, all they want to do is, all you got to do is take a drive some morning, guys. You see hundreds and hundreds of people. They drive to work. They spend a day at work. They have lunch. They go home. They have their supper with their family. They sit down in front of the news and absorb it all in. And they do that day in and day out with no thought or care about what's going on.
Here's a good question. And I've thought about addressing this several times myself, but I haven't. A little bit. And to me, I know who the good guy was, but
who do you think it was, Ronnie?
I don't think it was us. Put it like that.
No. I would tend to agree with you there.
Well, you know, I think that the guy that was in charge of Germany at that time, I think
Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin, right?
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. I think he was doing the same thing with the people then that we are trying to do now.
Absolutely.
And whatever happened, it didn't work out. But that's what he was doing. Even though they say it was the Jewish people that he was chunking in jail and everything, and maybe some of them were Jews. That's what they're, a lot of them are still called now. So maybe they were. But from a lot of stuff that I saw, that he was doing the same thing that we're doing right now.
Yeah, I'm not going to dispute there was a Holocaust and it was a horrible thing. But when I tell you it wasn't just Jewish-based people, it was not.
Oh no!
No, Polish. I mean, I'm Polish, and yeah, Polish people. It's more than just Jewish.
Yeah.
But that goes right back to the history being wrote by the winners. You know, if we hadn't won that war, well, what would the history say right now? I guarantee you it'd be totally different, whatever it said.
Yeah. If you think we're not still involved in it, guys, we're supporting one of the most Nazi-oriented countries in the world in their war against Russia right now.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yep. That's what blows my mind, because I've known that since pretty much not day one, but within the first week, and it just blows my mind. Like, really,
bro?
Like, you realize, like,
they even celebrate. They have holidays over there for, very powerful, important Nazi people that were from the way back. They still celebrate them there in that country.
Right. Yeah. They're like, it's just crazy to me how
the Ukrainian government is illegitimate government anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The real government was taken out, shunned, banned, whatever you want to say, to other countries, and they put in who they wanted in at the time. It wasn't for the people, didn't put them in there.
And it's the same way with Israel right now. Maybe their elections are real, maybe they're not. But the point is, they do it basically like the United States does. When you get right down to it, they have, 2, 4, whatever, however many people they got running for the prime minister place. they're all really on the same page. No matter who they elect, they're going to do the same thing as the next guy that was running.
Yeah.
Like Netanyahu, one of the
Yeah.
most evil men in the world. And that's all there is to it. Just, anybody that don't believe that, please go do just a minimum of research on him. You'll find that he is a very evil man, that he hates this country with a purple passion.
All these bad players, they're all connected, guys.
They sure are.
They're all in that circle. You guys
Well, I mean, that's what blows my mind. All these people in America that are, you know, I stand with Ukraine, you know, but they're the ones that are against everything that country is. And it just blows my mind. Like, really?
And unspecified, exactly. Illusion of choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
We do not have a choice, guys. All you have to do is look at our elections every cycle. That's why you never see an independent get any recognition on the media or anything. And you're only given a handful of people that they want in office. They give you the illusion that you're choosing when you vote, but it's actually you're choosing from their basket.
Right. You're not. Yeah, exactly. You're choosing, but you're not choosing.
Yeah.
Like, there should be a lot more options, but you're just choosing from what they want you to choose from.
Yeah. And I hear all these people on here, blah, blah, blah. You got to start at the state level. You got to start at state. It don't do a bit of freaking good, guys. I mean, you can vote really good people in locally, but they're so groomed and processed, but that by the time they reach the national level, they're already indebted to the powers to be.
Yeah.
By the time they get there.
How many times have I said that, Ronnie? How many times have I said that? I said, even if you go into politics with whole heart and wanting to make a difference and do good, by the time you move up, you're corrupt. It's too late.
Well, and see, I agree with you for the most part there, but with Trump, it was a totally different story because he was already a rich man, and
right.
He'd never been in politics before. He went straight from being a businessman to the president, so he didn't get corrupted along the way.
Well, he was the wrench in their evil plan that set them back 4 years. He really did. They did not expect. They didn't cheat bad enough in 2016.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
is all that happened
because they thought they had it in the bag.
Well, they didn't expect the onslaught of votes that he got. You know, they cheated. Like, don't get me wrong. They cheated for HRC. They couldn't cheat as much as it would have took to overtake him.
But why do
you know how that actually worked out?
That's why it was the way it was in 2020, because it was so overboard. They're like, we got to make sure. I mean, it's plain and obvious to me. But
what they were doing in 2016 was they were taking all the other elections they had with these machines. They had taken like 2/5 of a vote or 3/5 of a vote away from the person they wanted to lose and gave it to the person they wanted to win. And that's what they were going to do with Hillary. That's what they were doing. That's why they were so sure she was going to win.
Yep.
Well, but the military stepped in and made sure that didn't happen. So Trump got all the votes he was supposed to get. And so that's how he became president.
Yep.
Is the military stepped in and done their job.
Yeah,
what's
I've
up,
been
brother?
saying that for over 4 years, guys, that anybody that would even listen to me, it was, I honest to God, in my heart and my brain think that Obama was meant to degrade his company to a level of not being able to recover. And I think HRC was supposed to come in and mop up what was left and finish this off for this one world government.
You're absolutely right.
And Trump really put a monkey wrench in everything and put them behind. And now we're seeing them playing catch up with dumb shit and trying to get it back to the level that it was. And he's actually made it 100 times worse, to be honest with you.
I think that's what I'm saying about the way this is all going right now is that I just think that Trump is still in control. Although I agree with Mr. B that Biden is the president of the failed republic, because as we all know, the dollar's about to go down, and we've already been declared bankrupt. Trump did that, I think it's in 2020.
Well, this country's been bankrupt so many times, Bub.
Yeah, but he declared it this time, and he's still the commander in chief. So, and the dollar is about to go away. I mean, even they know that. That's why they're coming in with this new CBDC, whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah, BRICS and all that.
Well, BRICS is a good one.
Right.
Yeah, the one that they want to bring in is the rotten one, and I think they're going to. That's what I said a long time ago. I think they're going to bring it in. They're going to be successful in bringing it in.
The digital currency.
Yeah, but then somewhere behind that, that's where the BRICS money, or when it's worked out with BRICS, that's how we're going to ride in, kind of piggyback in on them, because people ain't going to put up with being told where to buy their groceries and what to buy.
Yeah. Well, there's already several countries that's got into the BRICS, and there's several waiting.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and that's another reason why I think that Israel and Saudi Arabia and a bunch of other ones will go to wars, because Saudi Arabia is they've already more or less told the United States to go to hell, because of who is the resident. But then they broke away from the treaty they had with Israel, whatever the hell I can't remember what it was, but they backed away from that. And there's one other thing there.
Did you see what 𝗙𝗏𝗿 put?
That right on the tip of my tongue.
No, I didn't, but
I don't know what that code is. I got to look that up now. 18 U.S. Code 1956 is all they need to put the Bidens in prison forever. 90% of the rest of the corrupt public serpents.
Yeah, but see, the thing is they don't want to put them in jail right now. That's why this is going on so long, because they're getting all this information out to the public about what he's done over the years. That's the whole trick here. They're educating the public as to what him and his family have done over the years.
Well, the evil is nervous as shit, guys. They're exposing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Just let them keep doing it until it's time to not let them.
Doing that.
They're exposing themselves every day. Yeah,
they certainly are, and that's what it's all about. They're just trying to, with all the exposing that's going on, if people aren't getting it, and if you didn't already know, and if you're not getting it now, well then you're just stupid. That's all the hell I can say.
If you haven't woke up by now, then you're not going to. It's too late for those.
Either stupid or just willingly blind and ignorant, because you just don't want to accept the truth.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I've always said, guys, it's going to take something close to a biblical disaster to wake everybody up at the same time.
That's what's coming. That's exactly what's coming.
I'm afraid you're probably right.
It is. That's why, about the nuclear war, I think, that, well, it's like the Bible says God's not going to let his glory be stolen by man. So how it's going to work out, I certainly don't know. But I think there's going to come a moment when it's going to be, regardless of how awake we are, a lot, like the Bible says, you're going to, everybody will have lost hope. Even the best Christians in the world are going to lose hope. And at that time, that's when God or Christ, whichever, both the same thing to me, are going to step in and fix things.
Yeah. That's
and it'll be plain from God.
I was reading an article a couple of months ago. I couldn't believe the percentage of people in our country that no longer believe in God. That really shocked me.
Oh, I know. It's absolutely amazing to me too. I mean, I don't get how you can not believe that there's a greater power, because
that's the only thing that gives me comfort on what's going on right now, is knowing that God's got my back and he's got everything.
Absolutely.
Well,
and not only that, I mean, but just look around you. How did we get here if there's not a God? What put us here? I mean, who put the first man, the first woman? Somebody did.
I don't even care what they call it. you know, the one, the Allah, Buddha. I don't care. It's something that you're born with. It's inside of you.
It's in your heart.
Yep.
You know, I don't care what you call it. We all pray to a higher being, entity.
Higher power. Yep, exactly.
You know, and
Exactly.
it's the intention in your heart, guys. You know,
It is.
Hey, Princess LDG, aloha.
That's why prayer works so well. You get that many people coming together and putting that much positive energy out in one direction. It does amazing things. But that's coming from inside of us.
It is. You know, that's what Loyal and I were having a talk about one night. Now, Loyal don't believe in God. At least, I don't know if he does now or not, but at that time he didn't. And, you know, it's that same thing I was telling you, God is basically what, if you got a conscience, then you believe in, you almost have to be a good man, you know, if you got a conscience. But it's what's in your heart that really matters. I don't know how to put our heart is what really guides us. Our brain is what we think with and everything, but our heart is what guides us.
Yeah.
Now, I guess maybe that's where the soul is. I don't know, but I believe it's our heart that guides us in all things, and that's where God resides.
We all know the difference between right and wrong. You know,
exactly.
You don't have to act on the wrong.
It's exactly right.
Even the worst of the worst know the difference.
And you're sure not going to go out messing with some little old kid, doing those dastardly things that they've done all these years to these little ones, and taking them. And it's not that I'm afraid to say it on here. It's just that I hate saying it, period.
Yeah, I'm disgusted by the shit I've dived into when it comes to the children.
No lie.
I'm totally disgusted. It makes me sick to even think about it, Ronnie.
Yes. Meemaw Page says, Ronnie, Steve, you listen to 𝗀𝗄? Yes, I have. Many, 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 many times.
Yeah, I absolutely have.
Yes. When I first heard him say that we will have two presidents, and that God will fool us, we will have two presidents, and they will fall in the fall. I mean, it literally gave me cold chills, listen to him talk. And it wasn't just that one, though. I mean, he's got many, many good videos out there where he was describing the future. And I mean, from what I've seen, he nailed it. Either he was in on the top rung of this thing and tell him what was going on, or God gave that information to him. I prefer to think it was God, because I just don't think that he was in on the top rung.
Yeah, I read the Bible like 7 times cover to cover, and I still can't quote scripture.
Me too, exactly.
But I do remember, I believe there's a part in Revelations that talks about Damascus having to fall before the end of the world.
Yeah, I think it's going to be totally destroyed.
And I've not seen that happen yet, so.
No.
I know it's somewhere in there that it talks about something about Damascus falling.
It does, and I don't remember where it's at either. Seems to me like it's in the Old Testament, but it may not be.
I think it's in Revelations, but that will dictate the end times, I guess. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. Like I said, I can't really quote scripture. As many times as I've read it, I still can't absorb all of it.
And I tell you, Anonymous, he's got a damn good point here, and this is what I was talking about a while ago. I would bet that all of our government, the senators, congressmen, and the president, all have dual citizenship, and it's always with Israel, always, and that's why right now they're all saying, let's go to war. Let's go help Israel, because they got dual citizenship. You should not be allowed to become anything in our government if you have dual citizenship with any country.
I don't even think you should be here.
Hell no. I mean, if you want to be a citizen over there, we'll go be a citizen there. If you want to be here, well, be a citizen here, but don't be both.
Right.
I just don't know how that ever got in there to start with.
You can't have your cake and eat it too.
That's right, Steve.
It's amazing, to me how, and I was fooled by it too, or if you want to call it fooled. I'll just say, I took the bait, but over the years, believe me, I've been behind Israel 1,000%. I was, but now knowing what I know, there's no way that I can support the government that's over there anymore. That's me now. Anybody else do what they want to do? That's up to people, to do on their own. But you can find videos of Netanyahu saying that I think it was he wanted to kill our country with 1,000 cuts, and in the 1,000 cuts, then they'll just walk in and take over.
Yeah,
that was one thing he said. I mean, the guy is he's very evil, and it's damn sure not hard to find. Exactly, Hawk. Israel was a people, never a country.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you dig into all this stuff, you start to realize, it's like we was talking about a while ago, that history is always wrote. That's why it's called history, his story. So it's always wrote by the winners of everything. Don't mean it's true.
Like anonymous anomaly put a quote from Stalin. I consider it completely unimportant who in the party will vote or how, but what is extraordinarily important is this: who will count the votes and how.
That's a good point.
Well, it is, but over here, the way they do it in this country, I don't think our votes really mean one thing to them, one way or the other. I really don't. I used to, but I don't anymore. I just think it's all been a big put on show. And believe me, it hurts to say that because I've voted since I was 32 years old. But I don't know that it does any good.
Well, brother, once I turned 18, I voted Democrat for almost a decade until I finally woke up and seen what they were all about. I got tired of seeing the race baiting every election and shit like that,
Yeah.
Well, for me, technically, I never voted, but I never got into politics until within the past 8 years. But I was just told I was Democrat, so I was like, yeah, I didn't have no idea. But now I'm neither. I'm not Democrat or Republican. I'm fucking American.
Yeah. Well, like they said earlier, guys, we don't really have a choice. I mean, we can pick the less of the two evils that we think, but it's still the options that they give us. I mean, it's not like we're actually putting somebody in there that we want in there. It's just.
That's why I always say it doesn't matter if you're left or right, red or blue. The government doesn't give a fuck about you. But with that being said, I don't know. Like we were saying about Trump, he wasn't politician. He just went straight to the top, and I do think he made a difference.
I do,
and he woke a lot of people up.
Bro, whether he's good or bad, I don't care. He was still the best president, and his administration was the best of my lifetime.
Yep, exactly. Yep,
certainly was. There's absolutely no doubt about that in my mind.
Yeah, I don't care what side he's on. He was still the best president I've ever seen.
Well, he was a Democrat.
It was the best 4 years of my life. I'll tell you that.
It was the best 4 years of everybody's life.
With my business, and dude, I was on top of the world, man. Like,
yes, it was definitely the best year of everybody's life. And people were working. Everybody could get a job, and they were making good wages. Yeah, it was great.
Exactly. Except I'm bad with money, so when that ended, I was like, oh shit, I didn't save anything. Damn. Oh, I'm screwed. But no, seriously, I mean, when I first got my van, I couldn't put $30 in. I would like drive it till the light came on, and I tried to put more than $30 in gas into my van. I couldn't. Now it's just to fill it halfway up. I put $30 in it.
Yeah.
I worked my ass off from high school on, bro, and I made some good business decisions, so I'm set. But what is that good is that going to do me when it comes right down to the crunch time? That was all for nothing, you know. It's not going to mean nothing. You can't do nothing with it. I just hope if the day comes that we do get, you know, I'm in an area where I go quick because I don't want to live in a world that's going to be after that. Just take me out like that, please.
Ghetto says Trump definitely made a difference. Warp speed. Just take the guns and sort it out later. Let a fake pandemic help kill our society. Yeah, he definitely changed our country. But yeah, Ghetto, you're missing a bunch of points there, brother. I mean, really, go research all this stuff you're talking about, warp speed, and really figure out what it was about. And as far as the guns go, yeah, he did say that. But you got to remember, he was playing the Democrats. That's what he was doing. He was calling their bluff.
And you also got to keep in mind who was in his administration that was in his ear. It wasn't always necessarily the good guys.
Absolutely. Yeah. But as far as I'm concerned, he was definitely the best president we ever had. And I remember exactly when he made that quote, at least the one I heard, it was when they was all meeting, I guess it was in the White House, and sitting around that big old table when he said that. I was kind of stunned when he said it too. But then, you know, I started researching and I found out what it's all about. Now, I played several videos about the warp speed here in the past few weeks.
Andy, you're right. T-Man definitely knew and does know.
Yeah, he definitely knew. And that's what warp speed was about. And well, a lot of other things, but yeah, with warp speed, and I know I'll be leaving out a few things here, but what he did was he took the vaccine manufacturer. Well, first of all, he got Johnson & Johnson to make it, I believe it was, at least publicly. But I think it was the military that wound up making it. I wouldn't swear to that part, but if it wasn't military, it was Johnson & Johnson. But what it was nothing but basically saline solution. And so he was getting this out to the whole country, you know, starting with troops and then older people and stuff like that to give the illusion of, you know, vaccination. But then when they got the resident back in there, well, the evil ones found out about this. They probably already knew it. They just couldn't do anything. But then they changed it back over to the real stuff. You know, so warp speed was about trying to get people, trying to save their lives is what it was. And if you just go research it, something, I guarantee you'll find it.
Yeah, I can about promise you not one politician in D.C. took the real thing. I can promise you that.
Oh, hell no. Let's see. X says exactly what Ronnie's saying. If you got a true vaccine, you're dead. Everyone got placebo because of the numbers showed the deaths dropped off. Thank you, Boot.
Yeah, there's nothing good that comes out of spike proteins, guys. Nothing. It's all been documented.
No shit. Well, you know, the thing about it is all it was a cold to start with. Yeah, it could turn into the flu. That could turn into pneumonia. But corona is a cold. That's right. What it is.
Yeah.
You know, so it's
a very mild form of one. It's not even a severe case.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know, the more times you get it, the easier it gets. Natural immunity is a wonderful thing, fellas. I mean, the only problem with it is it don't cost you nothing.
What I'd like to ask the Ghetto is, and I'll let you get over, but I got to ask you this question: Who would you vote for, other than Trump? That's out there right now. Who else would you vote for?
Yeah, I'd be curious to know that. Who has the experience and the wisdom to get us out of this freaking mess other than him?
Yes. Who else could be anywhere near as good a president as he was overall? I mean, my goodness, I can understand, people not liking him. I mean, I can't say that I was all that crazy about him when he first started running. It took some while to convince me. But then, when I thought about the choice between him and Hillary, it wasn't hard to make.
No.
And boy, am I glad I voted for him.
And for these people out there that get butthurt over a few mean tweets, go get you some salve.
Well, to me, I kind of loved his tweets myself,
I enjoyed them. I liked the truthfulness in him. He didn't hold back. You knew where he stood and what he thought.
Absolutely.
You didn't get the bullshit rhetoric from him.
Well, and another thing about those tweets was he was more or less trolling the Democrats is what he was doing.
He's master troll. Master troll. He knows how to get under their skin. That was the fun part.
Let's see what Ridge Runner had to say here. If the deep state would have had the time, they would have developed. Yeah, exactly, Ridge Runner. He forced their hands and made it less deadly when it had to be this way. He made one that wasn't deadly at all. I mean, and the one he took, this I can't remember what it was called. It was two different kinds when he got sick, and if he really got sick, and if he did, it was just a cold again. But still, it wasn't the same vaccine that we took. So when he said it, and this was in Alabama, I remember it perfectly, because boy, it's the first time I ever heard him get booed. And they booed him when he said, well, take the vaccine. I did. He did take it, but it wasn't the same kind. And what he was saying was, go take the same kind I did.
That's exactly what he said.
Yeah, that's what it was right there. Hydroxychloroquine. There was another one too. I can't remember what the other one was, but
yeah.
Anyway, that's what he was saying. Take what I did, not what the crap that they're giving out.
Hydroxychloroquine, zinc, and something else. I don't remember.
It was something that that's in your blood after you have had it.
There it is. 𝗿𝗏𝗃𝗁 ivermectin. Yes.
Well, there was something else too. There's something.
There was another one.
Yeah, it was mono. What the hell? It's something that people have in their blood after they've had it and got over it. Monoclonal antibodies, some shit like that. I could be wrong there.
The salt says antibodies, so you're probably on the right track, Ronnie.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was antibodies, but they have a name for it. I just can't remember what the name was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, let's see what Ghetto has to say.
Isn't that what they're doing now, though? They're saying, ooh, it's coming back. And it's good that you got your jabs and your boosts and everything, but those were nothing. The one we're going to have now is the one you need. It's like, so how is it good that I had it if that's what I heard like a week ago. Just didn't make sense.
Oh, and they're going to bring it back too. I mean, it's on its way. It's on its way back.
Well,
it worked
election time.
Yeah.
It's election time. They got to have something.
Is that it? What Hawk said?
Yeah. Regeneron. Oh, yeah, I think it was Regeneron.
That sounds right.
Yeah, it was. That's what it was called. Thank you, Hawk.
And Watt says monoclonal antibodies. Monoclonal.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say a while ago, which is basically what it is, what Regeneron is.
It rebuilds that?
Yeah, it rebuilds your inside, whatever it's killed off. But yeah, only thing I would say to Ghetto is, and I'm not picking on you, Ghetto. I mean, it's just you had some good comments there. Is that you got to hang on to hope, brother. If you lose your hope, well, then you've lost everything. And at this point, I mean, God is our top hope, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at man, then Trump is our best hope, in my opinion, anyway. I don't think there's any way around it.
And see, guys, Mr. B does have a serious side. It's not all about music and having fun all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a little bit of a brain left. I just don't like to flex it very often.
I don't know why not. It makes for some good conversation.
That's why I'm bald, guys. Grass don't grow on a busy highway, and this brain's always going.
I think that's because you've been wearing your cap too tight.
Is that what it is? Could be.
Ed says Ronnie York to whom. I don't know what you're talking about there, Ed. Ronnie York to whom? I have no idea what you mean there, brother.
Did you see Ghetto's comment?
Let's see. I don't mind if Steve don't mind, and Mr. B. You just have one guy up here.
I don't mind.
But, well, come on up.
I do tend to stick to the music and the fun most of the time, but this has been nice. Getting to have an intelligent conversation again.
It is. It's not all about agreeing with each other. It's exchange of ideas, and it's not meant to. Hopefully, people's minds can be changed to wake up. That's what I want to see.
Yeah. Well, like I've always told you, Ronnie, perception is reality. I mean, I may see a topic and perceive it one way, and you may perceive it a totally different way, but that doesn't make either one of us wrong. Unless the facts come out to prove that one side is more probable than the other.
Could y'all hold down the fort for just a minute? I got to go to the little boy's room.
Okay, you mute, please.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely going
to. Steve, for a young guy, you got a lot of knowledge, and you too, brother. I was very surprised over the last watching you and Ronnie. You guys got a good thing going.
Yeah, and it's weird because up until, I don't know, hold on, I'm not even on StreamYard anymore. Where's it at? There we go. There I am. Up until like 2015, like I said, I had no idea about politics. No idea.
If you'd have seen me 3.5, 4 years ago, you'd be shaking your head and probably saying, "Oh my God, this guy's off his rocker." Now you're going, right on, bro.
Hey, it's better to be awake than woke, right?
Amen, brother. Amen. There is a big difference. It's absolutely true.
Okay, cool. Ghetto, I just emailed it to you, so yeah, I'm just stream sharing, so I don't have the actual link. I had to forward the link from my email.
Oh, I will be having guests coming on the show not too long. You'll get to meet him, Steve. And I think he arrives tomorrow. You and me and Creek may have to do a show together. If you know where I'm going with this.
Oh, yeah. That'd be awesome.
But I think he's going to come on and do a show once a week, giving advice or something. That's what he said anyway. I think you'll like it. Yeah. Oh, Ed, I don't know, bro. I'm 6 decades in, brother. I don't think I'm the youngest. I think Steve's probably the youngest.
Yeah, I think I'm the youngest. 47.
Yeah.
We know Ronnie's 198, so.
That's right.
I'll actually be 61 in a couple of months, so.
All right, chap. Have a good one, brother. Thanks for dropping in.
Yeah, much love, chap. Much love, brother.
Well, did you get that sent to Ghetto, Steve?
Yep, I just forwarded the email to
Okay.
him, so he should have it by now. If not, I'll have to figure out how to text it to him.
Yeah, I haven't got his email, so.
Yeah, Travis, there's no such thing as pure blood anymore. We went through all them inoculations as kids. Trust me, our DNA's been changed many, many times over.
I have to agree. Well, back before I got into all this, I was taking the flu shots and everything. So, if you've taken one of those, it's the same thing. Whatever you've taken, it's the same thing basically. They all got that crap in them.
Yeah, we've all been altered in some over a period of our life for sure.
Oh man, when I tell you, when I went in the Army, I mean, you wouldn't believe the amount of shots you get in there. I mean, they have guys standing on each side of you, them air gun things.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's a block long you walking down through there, and there's the air guns that psh, 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 psh. There's no telling how many shots I took. And I never once thought about my government giving me something that might be harmful.
And they can even make you line up for an experimental medication that you know nothing about, and you have no choice but to take it.
Well, I tell you what, if I'd have known now what I knew then, if I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't take them. They just had to throw me in jail because I flat ass wouldn't have took them. And that was when the Vietnam War was going on too, when I went in. And if I knew then what I know now, I would. If they would have sent me to Vietnam, I wouldn't have went because, I mean, I think our soldiers have just been, all of our servicemen have been shit on and misused in so many ways. It just stinks. And a lot of them don't realize it now, but they have been sent off to fight wars that were fake.
Right. And you're right, X-Boot. It is Big Pharma trying to play God. If y'all don't believe what I'm getting ready to tell you, you can go look for yourself. You can go look on the CDC or the WHO, and that is still listed as an experimental drug. It is not listed as a vax to this day. So it's there in black and white.
Wow, Williams never got the flu shot. I know I did growing up, but as an adult, I never did.
Well, the thing is, though, you had to get to go to school. You had to get shot. You still do, or they won't let you in school. So you got some kind of inoculations along the way. You may not even remember them, but you got them.
Boys and girls lined up in our T-shirts and underwear in the school gym. You remember those days?
We never had to line up in our underwear, but I remember getting
shots.
Oh, yeah.
Lined up in our underwear and T-shirts, walking through the cattle line, getting our shots. Remember that big old gunman that left that circle on your arm half your life?
Oh, those, yeah. I never had that. My dad had one of those, though.
I think it was polio or something.
It looks like a cigar burn.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't polio. That was smallpox.
Smallpox,
yep. That's what it was.
Like a big old scab on your arm.
You just had that big circle for half your teen life, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And,
I remember my dad always had that, and I was always like, Dad, what happened to your arm? And he was like, oh, there's a vaccine. And I'm like, looks like someone burned you with a cigar.
Yeah.
Kettleheads, welcome, brother.
Good and they didn't feel good either, Steve. They did not feel good.
No, they didn't. And you know what? I had a friend in school at that time. I think I was in the 6th grade, if I remember correctly. And we were all the time knocking the crap out of each other just for the fun of it. And it had just about healed it. Had a good scab on and everything. And he hit me so hard on my arm, right on that scab. Tore the scab off and started bleeding like crazy. I didn't think it was ever going to get well, but it did. Of course, my insides haven't, but that did. Oh, you were homeschooled, William? Well, if you were homeschooled, you were a lucky man.
He must
That's
be a
the way to
youngin'.
go, especially nowadays. That's the way to go.
Yeah, I think William's 19.
My daughter has 7 kids, and she homeschools every one of them.
Now that's a full-time job.
Boro. And plus
Damn.
trying to help run her husband's business. So she's got her hands full.
Shit. Yeah, that's definitely some hands full.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is something. They do give you shots when you're right after you're firstborn. Now, I mean, I don't know what kind they give you, but
yeah, they definitely shoot you up with a bunch of shit.
I agree, Indy. I had none in it either. None.
That's why I threw mine all in the trash. I feel better now than I have in decades. Just by not taking any of that crap anymore.
Well, man, I'll tell you, it's been this past week has been pure hell for me, being so sick and all. You know what? I don't. Here's what gets me. I can go to bed feeling fine and wake up the next morning sicker than a damn dog and don't know why. I mean, puking and you name it. And here's our next guest. We made it. Ghetto.
But that's true though too. Real quick, Indy, that's true because the newborns now they put like some kind of shit on the eyes. What is that? I never even put that together, but they do that.
Yeah,
like,
they say it's a Vaseline, something like that. But that's what they said they put on my son's eyes was Vaseline. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Good to meet you, Ghetto.
Hey, Ghetto.
Hey, good to meet you, Mr.
brother.
B. What's up, Steve? Aloha, brother.
Aloha,
Mr. Ronnie, I appreciate the invite. I mean, I was down there begging for it. I hate doing that, but but I also hate when people they automatically assume I have no hope because I don't believe in any system. And it's the first assumption that anybody gets, right? When I say, well, Trump didn't do nothing, Biden didn't do nothing, then, people kind of like, well, there's no hope. I mean, there's got to be somebody to save us. And my response to that is we, the people, need to save ourselves. We don't need somebody in power, regardless of what they perceive to do, and forgive how I articulate stuff, y'all. I ain't very good at getting my opinion out, but if we actually focused on us, the people, coming up, because I do believe our ancestors sold us out a long time ago to a whole crap ton of corporations.
No doubt. Oh, they did, no doubt. Yes.
From medical to Coca-Cola, all of them.
71
right?
was the year.
Right. So I firmly believe in that, but if I'm going to lean anywhere, it's going to be towards y'all's side, Trump and stuff like that. But like I said, it's like a 0.001% of hope. I have no hope for the government. I'm relying on God to instill in every American's heart, every Palestinian, every Israeli, every Swedish, every common person of the world. I'm having faith in God to put it on our hearts to actually fight back against the demonic system. Because this isn't just America. This is the world.
Absolutely. It's definitely not just America.
We are definitely in a spiritual battle right now between evil and good. That is what we're going through. And it's not local, it's worldwide.
Right. It is.
That's what I say all the time on my show. I mean, that's absolutely right.
And that's why I feel like Trump was one of the biggest deceptions of our time. Whatever it looked like as him being a great president, whatever, I believe that was still a psyops. I believe it was to further divide us, to target the ones that are going to be quote unquote patriotic, aggressive towards the system. I mean, he's got us all lined up picking sides, right? I mean, now I think we can all agree ain't nobody picking the side of Biden. Fuck that dude. Excuse my language, Ronnie, but obviously.
You're cool. I've heard,
but and if my icon bothers you, man, I'll change my icon. I'm not sure about it.
No, it don't bother me.
I like Tupac, to be honest with you.
I mean, my background is, man, I was raised in a system. I was raised in the system. It took me a very long time to get out of said system. And regardless of what president was there, they did all that they could do to keep my economic status down from a child all the way up into a young man. So whether it was right or left, it didn't matter. You know what I mean? They did what they did.
Well, the left preaches a lot of good for everybody and does nothing.
Right.
And I seen President Trump do things with his administration that raised an awful lot of people up.
It did. He was even, letting people out of prison that really hadn't done anything wrong. He was doing lots of things for the black community, the Mexican community, every community that had never been done before. He didn't start one war all the time he was in office. And as a matter of fact, he pulled us out of wars.
The only military action we took was to eliminate ISIS. That was it.
Yeah,
and
that's exactly.
And one time in Syria to push back the Russia onslaught.
Didn't the CIA create ISIS? Or am I wrong on that?
No, them and Obama. Obama was president. Yeah. Yes, Obama created them.
Yep.
Sure did.
But President Trump did do a lot for Hispanic women, our black brothers and sisters, a lot to at least get them somewhat up to a higher level of living for them.
I just know that, if anyone else were to become president other than Trump, our country is gone. I mean, we have absolutely no hope of recovering it. And what you're talking about with the people doing it, Ghetto, which it may come down to yet, but that entails a civil war. That's what the evil ones are wanting us to do.
Well, my question to that, Ronnie, is why do we constantly hang on to that small chance of hope that somebody's going to come in and rescue us? I believe that takes the power away from us.
No, let me tell you what I feel about that. How I feel about it is that God is in control of this whole situation. And I'm not joking a bit here. This is how I feel, that God is in control of it. And to me, it's just like it was in the Bible with David or Moses or whoever. He picked certain men at certain times to do certain things. And that's what's basically happening now, as far as I'm concerned. So my hope is with God, really, not with Trump.
Right.
But when I say I place hope in Trump, that's because my hope is really in God, and that God has more or less anointed him to do the job that he's doing.
One man is not going to save us. That's not the point we're trying to get across.
Right.
No,
yeah, I definitely, I get that. And I hear that from, most.
Like I said, when I first come up, brother, until we all come together, we're not going to make a difference.
Exactly. That's the most important thing that any of us need. Whether you're ultra left, ultra right, in the middle, it doesn't matter where you are, what creed, whatever. If we're not together, you know what I mean? Together, but we have to be on the right side for ourselves. I mean, I can go on what Trump did great that I seen, what he did bad. I could do the same thing about Clinton, even Obama. I know that's like cussing around here, but there was good things that there was put in place. There was, bad things put in place, but the good and the bad didn't stop the chemicals from going in my food, from going in my water that I'm giving my family. It didn't help the infrastructures of electricity, of better living, of putting back the nuclear family, right? Because our society has gone so far away from the nuclear family where, regardless of Trump or whoever's there, the mom and dad's going to work and the kids are being raised by devices in the government.
And
Trump
we've
didn't
allowed
fix that.
Yeah, we've allowed them to do that to us.
Exactly. We allowed them to do that. Like I said, we've been sold out a long time ago. So these big things, now if somebody came in and fixed all these, then I'll be like, oh, wait a minute, I got a little hope here.
Bro, it's all part of the programming that's been going on for centuries. We're programmed to believe a certain way, what we're told, what we read, what we watch. You know?
Yeah.
And we're supposed to take that as the gospel.
Right.
That's
There
where
was
people need to change their frame of mind. You need to get off of that treadmill and walk your own path. Start looking for yourself, guys.
And it is in our hands. That's the problem is back in 1871, and even back farther than that, really, is when the people of this country let it slip by them, with the law that they passed back then, or with them borrowing the money from the city of London to rebuild the country. The people back then should have stood up and stopped it, but they didn't, because we just went through the Civil War, and I guess they didn't want any more war. I mean, I don't know, but
they didn't really have the knowledge either, Ronnie. You got to remember
that's true.
Things traveled at a lot slower pace. You got your news months after it already happened.
Right.
Everything was newspaper, and that took months to get information from one part of the country to the other. People lived in blind and in the dark.
I agree, D-Dog. If you trust the government, you're up a creek.
Amen to that.
Get what you deserve.
They're not your friend.
No, and it don't matter which side you look at.
See, and we all agree to that, so that's why it confuses me how people can support one individual out of the government, which would be Trump, right? And then it gets fall back on, well, he wasn't he was president, so yeah, he's a politician. I mean, you can't be a president without being a politician. I mean, in my eyes.
You can't, because a politician is I think the word literally means liar. That's what I think it means. And Trump, like I say, he went from being a businessman straight to presidency. He didn't go through all this other crap, for like being a mayor and a congressman or whatever. Now, if he'd have done that, I think he could have very well been corrupt. But he didn't. It didn't work out like that. The military actually went to him and asked him to run, which he knew was going to happen all of his life. At some point.
Right, it was predictive programming at some point, right? Because in the 80s, 90s, he talked about being president. I mean,
well, they asked him. They asked him 1,000 times if he'd run, and several times he said no. And then they asked him about being commander in chief. He said, "Oh, commander in chief, yeah, I think that was on Oprah show. Not sure about that."
It was right,
but that's the one show that still sticks in my craw that I remember as a teenager. Was the interview he did on Oprah, and he made the comment that if he was to run for president, you could tell the American people anything and they would believe it. That was his exact words. Yeah,
he was right. You could.
And that still sticks in my head somewhat from time to time.
Well, he was definitely right. I mean, look at the Bushes, for example. I mean, I voted for both them bastards. And believe me, I regret it nowadays, but I did.
I did too, bub.
But to me, the point is now is we're in a mess, and like y'all were talking about a while ago, it is definitely a spiritual war. That's what we're in.
Right.
And so there's got to be a leader.
Warfare. It's generational warfare, right? You got the spiritual, you got the dark versus the light, period. I mean, that's all it's been my whole life. I mean, I imagine all your guys' life too is devil against God. We're stuck in the middle.
But it seems like recently it's at an elevated height.
Oh, it's accelerated. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The demons are screaming. They're scared. Yeah. They know the time's up. You know what I mean? They're running out of time.
Yeah.
What's up, Camo Carl? Good to see you, brother.
Aloha, Camo Carl.
Camo, what up, brother? So all right, let me ask you guys. I got a few questions that I ask Trump supporters, right? Okay. And I'm always out of respect because I say F both of them. So I never just pick on Trump or pick on Biden. I mean, even though that's an easy target. Right. But I pick on both because, like I said, F both. But what was I going? Why? What, in your opinion, why didn't they JFK him? I mean, you're talking about
they tried about 1,000 times.
Yeah,
they tried.
I mean, you're talking about a demonic system that is against one guy. I mean,
well,
how
brother,
could they not?
They tried.
I mean, they took JFK out and convinced us it was one gun. I mean, come on, man.
But
think about it. He's not been voted in yet. Think about it.
When Trump was president, and when he
It
flew
could
to
still
Hawaii,
happen.
if you remember when he flew to Hawaii and that nuclear missile thing went off,
Yeah,
and all
the
the
thing
people in
that I
Hawaii
totally
were,
missed is the thing I slept through.
yeah, and the people in Hawaii
Yeah.
were jumping into manholes and everything
Yeah.
to protect themselves from the nuclear missile. That missile was fired at Trump's plane.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was fired at, because they're trying to kill him. That happened twice with the missiles. And then I don't know how many other, there's been well over 200 attempts on his life. I mean, after he was out of office, they even went to the place there at Mar-a-Lago, and somehow, and they're still trying to figure out how this happened. They said it had to be from a helicopter, but there was a guy, according to the Secret Service, I think it was, there was a guy in a helicopter with a certain kind of rifle, and he had to be an expert shot. Trump was in bed, or either getting in bed. I've forgotten which one it was. He takes his shot at Trump. The problem was for that guy is that Trump had bulletproof windows installed in that in his bedroom where he slept at, and so the bullet didn't go through. But they checked the angle of the bullet and everything. However they do that, I don't know, but they did, and they said it would have been a direct hit to his head if the bullet would have went through that window. So, I mean, that's just
like Chessboard says too, is if Trump did not have his own security, he would not be here today.
That's for darn sure.
Yeah.
For darn sure. And that's why I said on my channel, I don't know how many times that he's got I don't think he's even got Secret Service myself. I think he's got special operations working for him, taking care of him. That's my opinion. I don't know that for a fact, but that's what I think.
Yeah, I agree with that, Devil Dog. They would have made him a martyr if they'd have got away with it. Yeah.
This is streaming on 2 different channels, right? Is this over at your channel too, Steve?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm missing other comments and stuff, so I better go over to your channel on my TV.
You should be able to see it in the stream, or unless you're on your phone.
No, I'm on my iPad, but
Okay.
I'll just watch.
No, same
I'll watch
thing
your
as
channel.
iPad. It's harder.
I'll watch your channel on my TV. Well, I mean, there goes that hope, y'all. I don't know.
Well, I wish there was some way we could convince you.
It's not too hard to take someone out. No, I mean, I feel the same way, Ronnie. I wish I could convince y'all, because if you guys didn't have Trump, you wouldn't have no hope, and then you'd be thinking more on my mind frame of how the fuck we gonna take motherfuckers down.
Well, see, I don't.
I mean,
agree
I'm not
with
going to
that.
incriminate myself, but
Ghetto, I don't agree with that comment, brother. I have hope in God. I don't put my faith in Trump. I don't think he's the end all to be all. I just think he did the most good for the most people in his time in office, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. I have hope in God, but I believe God has hope in us that we'll do the right thing too, because he wants us to act as well. I mean, he's going to win regardless, but he instills in us that we need to react and we need to defend ourselves as well.
Well, you got to think this moment in time is just a blink of the eye of God. Everything in God's time, he has a plan. And it's going to play out the way he lets it play out, and there's not a thing we can do about it.
Right, but if a system is completely demonic, wouldn't God want his children to fight against those demonic systems instead of?
Well, I think that's what we're doing by supporting Trump. In my opinion, that's what we're doing. I mean,
right.
And
that's
the fact
the way I
is,
look at it too.
There have been people that are armed to the teeth, that are ready to go to war at any time. They've been tamped down by, not necessarily by Trump, but by, let's say people around Trump, because they don't want a civil war to start. If it's needed, believe me, there's plenty of people out there to carry it out. But that's the last thing you want to do, is have a civil war. That's where they want us to go, is in
right.
Civil
But that's
war.
not our only option, though, Ronnie. That's the thing. That's the other thing that people go to, is like, oh, civil war, guns, and all this other stuff.
Well, that's the war they can't win. They can't win that war.
Well, the other option, no, we can't because
we can. They can't. That's why we've never been invaded. Guerrilla warfare is an ugly thing, brother, and nobody knows your backyard better than you do.
Trust me, I know.
There's too many guns and too much ammunition.
The streets I was raised on raised me for what's to come.
That's not a war that any government could win. And I guarantee you anybody in the military is not going to execute their own family and friends. It's not going to happen.
I agree with that.
I definitely agree.
And Hawk's got a good point here. He says Trump is simply a David facing a Goliath to inspire all mankind to stand up and destroy all evil. I couldn't possibly agree more.
Wouldn't he have denounced the LGBT, whatever the hell it is, instead of walking around stage with their flag and telling them thank you and all this other stuff?
Well, I've never seen him do that.
The difference in people is what makes this world a great place. We need to accept each other for what we are. You know, quit casting judgment. Who are we to judge anybody?
We ain't nobody to judge anybody. I mean, if he's a man of God, he's going to rebuke these certain things, though. Let me find a Steve, and I'll send it over to you.
If you cast judgment on somebody for their beliefs, or it's going to come back to you how many times over, according to God?
I don't know. I just all I know is where I stand. And Ghetto, have you ever checked out Q?
Q?
Yeah.
No, sir. No, sir. I believe that's another propaganda machine. No, sir.
Well, see, until you go check it out, you shouldn't be making an opinion of it or forming an opinion of it until you've checked it out. I think Q was one of the best things that has ever happened because this is a worldwide thing. It's not just the U.S. And Q was worldwide. That's why everybody in the world is in love with Trump, is because of Q and all the things that it exposed and all the things that led you to research. And not only that, but leading you to God, just all kinds of things. Telling everybody to put on the full armor of God. What it was is one of the things it was preparing people for what is about to happen now with this, what I think is going to be close to nuclear war. And I don't think it's going to be long in coming.
Well, Ghetto Ronnie knows my opinions about Q. I've made it perfectly clear.
Well, but I don't care. I mean,
if it did nothing else, it led me in some good directions to research. It did do that. If it did nothing else, it did that.
That's one of the good things it was for. To lead people into research. I mean, I can't understand what people didn't like about it. If somebody could tell me what it was they don't like, then maybe I could understand. I don't get it.
I can tell you what I thought the bullshit was in it. Seeing all these truthers on here, and they could take the same Q post and make a narrative for every situation that came out, no matter what month or year it was. The Q post always changed, continuously changing to spew their narrative, what they thought it meant. But it was the same post on different subjects.
Yeah, but that was just their idea of what things was. What you got to do is...
Well, it's everybody's idea because nobody knows what they're saying.
Well, what you got to do, though, is go to Telegram, and several people on there that really know what they're talking about and are good at researching Q.
Been there, done that.
And that's where I go to. And that's how I form some of my opinions.
I think it was all a big psyop, and I still think it is.
It was a reverse psyop, is what it was. It was a psyop, but reverse.
I can't buy into it, brother. I don't, I just can't.
Well, that's
buy
cool.
into it.
I mean, but to me, what it was is we have been programmed forever by the CIA, by Mockingbird Media, by what's them two damn military things. I don't know what they are, but anyway, we've been programmed forever. And Q was to deprogram us. That's what it
did lead me down some good pathways. I will say that for it. It did.
It did me too.
Yeah.
And I can't say that I have read every bit of it because I haven't, but I have read it and researched a good bit of it. I never found one thing that was wrong with it. I mean, you know, I'm just saying. Now, if I'd have done every one, maybe, but I didn't do every one. You know, I used to do some of the decoding myself, but I wasn't very good at it. It took me forever, and by the time I get through decoding something, I mean, it already happened. You know, I mean, it was old news, so I just gave up on that. But
yeah.
Anyway, to me, it was a good thing. It still is.
It was a good eye opener. If, like I said, if nothing else, it was a good eye opener.
Exactly.
Yeah, it made you want to look. Well, it made some of us want to look anyway.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, you know, the thing is, like I said, that with the deprogramming stuff and it going worldwide, it got not only us, a lot of us back on the same page, but it got people in foreign countries on the same page with us. Because when it's all changes, however it changes, everybody's got to be ready for it. And I don't know if y'all know it or not, but here in the state of Texas, we went to the gold precious metal backed monetary system on September the 1st. I still don't know exactly how that's going to work out. I mean, there's a law that they passed, you know, that, and I have read it, but I'm not a lawyer, so like I said, you know, it don't sink into my head. But it has passed, and my point is that when one state passes it and goes to it, and Texas being, you know, pretty soon it'll be the biggest state in the union because everybody's moving out of California, and I'm talking population wise.
Yeah, the bad thing is they're taking their philosophies with them when they go.
Yeah,
and they're converting that state to what they left behind.
Oh, I agree. But here, you know, with Texas going, there's going to have to be other states that come along, you know, and go to the precious metal back system too.
Well, aren't there several that's already adopted that, Ronnie?
Not that I know of.
I know Texas, Oklahoma, right?
I don't know. I have checked it out. I don't know about Oklahoma. It wouldn't surprise me none. But I haven't heard about it there.
Yeah, I think there were, well, not a majority, but there are several that have started accepting gold back, you know.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's another thing. That's another thing this is all leading to, though, is, you know, money that's worth something and that will buy and pay for, you know, things that you can't do now. And when it's all changes, and now who knows if NESARA is a real thing or not? I don't. Maybe it is, maybe it ain't. But let's say that it is a real thing. And when it all changes, with all the gold that's been retrieved from places around the world, you know, like from Rome, the place in Rome.
Yeah.
And believe me, it's not just one place. I've seen it that there's a lady that works for the Pentagon, Janet Myers, I think is her name, Jan Myers. But she comes on now quite often on different shows and telling about the gold that was retrieved from there.
Yeah.
And I mean,
tunnels of it.
Yes, stacked to the wall. I mean, miles and miles and miles of it.
And they weren't even the biggest holders of gold. Do you realize that, Ronnie? Do you know who was?
No.
The elder families in China, they still are.
Oh, yeah. Right.
The elder families that totally run China, not the...
Yeah, you're talking about the dragon, white dragon, red dragons. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They have the most concentrated ownership of gold than anybody in the world.
All right, Ronnie. I remember this now. I didn't, but 𝗙𝗏 wasn't lying. I remember this now, but I put it back. Yeah, he did. His music.
That was on his campaign trail. I couldn't find the exact video of him being on the campaign trail, but you know, that was back when he was promising. And
I absolutely remember that. Yeah.
I don't remember it, but
I forgot about it, but now I remember it as soon as I seen it. I was like, oh shit, that's right.
well, yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say about that, but I just know the way he's talking now that it, you know, a lot of this shit's going to end.
He doesn't say that he is in agreement with what they're doing. He says it's his place to protect them from the hate and the violence that they're incurring.
But if God hates that, wouldn't he? If he's a godly man?
He didn't say he didn't hate it, but he's also the president of the country. It's his obligation to protect everybody that lives here.
His
not just
obligation
you or
is
me.
to serve God first, though, before any of us. You know what I mean? That my obligation would be to serve God first.
And I'm sure he does.
To me, that would be denouncing God in front of everybody by accepting the ways of society.
If you were in that position, you would have to protect every citizen that lived here. You would have to. It's your obligation. It's your constitution. It's your constitutional obligation.
I wouldn't be in that position because that would be the obligation, but that's going against God, so I wouldn't put myself in that position.
Well,
yeah, if it had been me, I wouldn't have went there and done it to begin with. That's all I can say. I wouldn't have done it.
It shouldn't be written that way. I mean, it's.
Yeah, but I agree with Mr. B. It is his obligation to protect all the citizens of the country. So, but to me, he never should have went there and done it to begin with.
Right.
But he did. That's the first I've seen that. So, good job, Steve.
I got one more from Hawk.
Okay.
I know he does now, Cola. Most definitely. He's already got his team behind him. I mean, they've been dividing us since they created this place, since they created this country. And now they're just doing it on a bigger scale.
Thank you, Mayor. That was the point I was trying to get across.
I mean, I understand your point. I can't see it from my side because it's God first before anything, even before my wife, before my wife and my kids.
I understand that, and the Constitution was the original Constitution was supposed to be based on God, but that's the way it's written. I mean, we can't pick and choose what part of the Constitution we want to live by.
But doesn't that put the Constitution before God?
Well, it was God-loving people that wrote it.
That's where I disagree, but I understand you.
Yeah, being a president, you do have to protect all the people of the country. That I agree with. I don't agree with LGBTQ though at all. I mean, that's just me. And if I had been him, I would have never went there to begin with. But that was his decision. So that's something that's had to be between him and God. Is all I know.
Just because I don't agree with it doesn't mean I have to condemn them. It's not my place to judge people on who they.
Well, it's not. It doesn't go back to condemning or judging.
They have to stand before Christ, just like all of us. They have to stand before God, just like all of us. And that'll be the time that they stand in judgment. It's not my place to do it.
But on the campaign trail, because that's when he did it. Him going out of his way to say, I'm going to fight for you. I'm going to protect you. I'm going to do this to a specific group of people. As a godly man, knowing what they're doing is against everything that God's about. Why would you specifically target them and say, hey, I'm going to fight for you? He could have easily, like Ronnie said, not even put himself in the position.
Well, because at the time they were being ostracized. They were being...
Not once.
They were being beat.
Where?
Bro, really?
I know the propaganda of it. Not in my city, not in my states, and I'm from Portland.
Well.
I mean, yeah, that's where I was from. So
I'm sorry.
The 80s, no, from the 80s, I'm not. From the 80s to the 90s, but that right there shows just your laughter for it, which I take no.
No, it's nothing personal against you.
No, I don't take it personal. What I'm saying is the laughter, and I get that from everybody when I say, hey, I'm from Portland. Everybody's like, oh my God. They think of the riots. They think of all this stuff, all this crap that's happened, right? But you don't understand that was in a 2-mile radius. That's not the whole city of Portland. it was a Broadway show. I was there. I was down there while it was going on, and I'm like, why the hell is the world doing all this when it was literally set up and it was in a 2-mile radius.
It was absolutely planned and paid for. It was absolutely.
Yeah, that's why the mayor and everybody was in on it.
Right. My point is it wasn't the whole city burning. What our main problem is the same as every other major city. It's homelessness and drugs. That's it. I mean, that's the main problem. But
just because you live a certain place doesn't mean I'm going to discount what you say or think.
Well, I don't live there. I'm saying I'm from there. I don't live there. Don't get me wrong. I'm in the suburbs now, man. I moved from the ghetto to the suburbs. But excuse me.
That's what I spent an hour and a half of my day today doing, talking about the homeless. Me and the wife bagged up a bunch of old coats that we never wear and quilts and blankets. And downtown by one of our banks, there's a long wrought iron fence. It's called the helping fence is what it's called. You take the bags down there and you tie them on the wrought iron, and it's for all the homeless people because it's getting cold out. So you put winter stuff up there, and they can come and help themselves to what they need. That was my afternoon today.
Nice. Oh yeah, it's everywhere, wildlife. Those are the infrastructures. Those are the systems that aren't being fixed.
Well, the system was created to be chaotic and divisive, bro. So I'd say it's working just exactly how it was made.
Oh, 100%, 100%. That I'm just leaning more towards. That's why there's not, like you guys said, not one man that can change it.
There is not.
At the end of the day, it's up to God what happens now. Because I mean, we're not even in Revelations as far as I can see.
Nope.
So either we're getting taken out first, or this country.
Well, I have to disagree. I think we're definitely in the Revelations.
No, I'm saying in the book. I'm saying in the book of Revelations, we're not there. Is what I'm saying. I believe it's the season right now, Ronnie. I'm just saying that before it really pops off, we're not mentioned anywhere, and throughout Revelations or the Bible, we're not mentioned.
Oh, you mean the U.S.?
The United States of America.
Yeah, no, I agree. But in a way it does, because we are Babylon. We're the biggest part of Babylon. And
right. So that's all of our assumption. Yeah. And I agree with that. I do agree with it, but it doesn't specifically, give our geographical location, not like Iraq or, or Iran or Russia.
I agree.
It doesn't, it doesn't. So to me, that means we're not even going to be existing at that point.
Oh, I agree. I thoroughly agree.
Oh, but, shit. Unspecified podcast. Thank you, brother.
Nice.
I'm not streaming from my StreamYard, so I can't play the thank you video. But
where's he at? Landon, where you at? Get your butt up here, man.
Yeah, I'm going to have to hop down, guys. Because I'm tired of sitting here doing the pee-pee dance. So
yeah, I can't go much longer either. I need to get off here.
We're going on. Yeah. See, our thing is it's 2 hours, 1 hour me and Ronnie, the second hour with a guest, but we always go at least 3.
Well, I appreciate you having me up, fellas. It was very enjoyable this evening.
It was. Thank you, Mr. B.
Thank you for coming up, brother.
Ghetto, nice to meet you, bro.
Mr. B.
You too, bro. Keep on coming. Keep talking, bro. Get it out there. Get it out there.
Oh yeah.
Everybody has a voice. So, all right, guys. Love you. Be blessed.
All right.
You too.
Love you, God bless, man. Let me so let me answer one thing real quick, Ronnie. Earlier we went on other, tangents or whatever. What else? Because you were saying that the only other option would be civil war, revolution, all this other stuff. In my eyes, I don't believe that's the only option that we have. I do believe they want that, but I believe what they really don't want is for us to be as self-sufficient as possible, as in collecting our own water, our own food on our own land, to where the only thing we have to pay is the taxes on said land at the end of the year. Because I mean, we're all stuck with the taxes, right?
I don't. When this all changes, there won't be taxes on land, on nothing. I mean, because when we pay taxes, that means it's not our land. It still belongs to the government because we're paying taxes. If it was ours, we wouldn't have to pay taxes. But my opinion is when this all changes, that will change too. And but yeah, we definitely need to become landowners, all of us.
Right, but we need to come together as in not just on our own, right? Like I have a good channel. Is if Indy's in there, she's good at finding links. But it's Life Done Free. He's a man that has built a community in Kansas, and I think they have about 1,200 different residents now, and they're in their own county, right? Now they live off of a barter system. And I know automatically people think some kind of cult type whatever. No, they're a homesteading community that started some years back, and it's to the point where he is 80. I think he said he was like 70 to 80% off of the system, and that goes all the way down to not jumping on your phone and paying your electric bill, right? So let's say you jump on your phone, you pay your electric bill, your credit card or your bank, somebody's getting a 3% charge just so you can have the convenience of paying right on your phone, right? Does that make sense? But instead, if you went down to the actual office, gave them the cash, boom, you're not getting no whatever. I think we're so comfortable with how society is right now. A lot of us don't want it to change. But what needs to change for us to be even more self-sufficient is we need to go that extra mile to make sure the system isn't getting fed anything. Not even 1%, not 3% on that gas when you're filling it up with the credit cards. None of it. You have to be completely self-sustained.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't give them anything. That, to me, everybody's worried about this great 2030 reset and all this other stuff, but you're so distracted that you can't even understand that you yourself can cause your own reset and cancel the system out of your life as much as possible. That's what they don't want us to do. They want us fighting against Trump, Biden, against this, black, white, gays or not. All that shit don't matter, man. They're scared of us being what I believe this country should have been founded on, and that's being self-sufficient with ourselves. Ever since this country was built, it led to where we're at right now, right? From school system, Rockefellers, this country was built for a people to be reliant on a system.
Well, I don't know so much about that, but what happened along the way is people like the Rockefellers did come in who had a lot of money because they had stole it, from wherever.
Right.
But yeah, people like that is what screwed the country up. And yeah, we were meant to be self-sufficient. But the fact of the matter is we're not self-sufficient anymore, and we do need to get back to that. The question is how we get back to it. And, most people aren't going to do what you're talking about the people up in Canada did. They just, at least not now. It's something big is going to happen before anything changes. That's why Q said people have got to be shown. You can't just tell them. They got to be shown, and you got to go to the precipice. So we are at that precipice, or darn near it right now. So when we get there, and whatever's going to happen happens, and I don't know, some people think Christ's going to return. I don't think it's time for Christ's return. I think that'll be the next time. But we'll see. But for right now, I think that we're all going to have to come together, and regardless of our opinions on how Trump done or if he's real or whatever, we all love our country. We all love our families. We got to figure out how to get this thing on the right track.
Right. What if that was the greatest weapon of all, though, Ronnie? What if being on the precipice, right? Everybody, even the far left people that I know, which I think we all know a few left folks. We still love them, though, because they're family or whatnot. Even those type of people believe there's something big coming, right? I mean, we can all feel it. Everybody in the world can probably feel it. But what if that particular idea of something coming was the actual weapon? So it keeps us in anxiety. It keeps us worried. Well, you understand
that's possible.
You understand what I
yeah.
mean? It furthers
Yes,
the
yeah.
propaganda machines on these black screens, man. It furthers us to buy certain things, to move certain ways. I mean, they're controlling us. They're controlling us in so many. And I got to respond to Spike and to your whole thing. I'm not on camera. I get it. I'm a white dude, just so y'all know. I don't know why I have to remind people, but I guess it's the way I talk or whatnot. But my thoughts on reparations. I mean,
Well, it might have something to do with that avatar.
Right. I mean, hey, Tupac had it right.
No, it's funny because me growing up in Detroit too, I actually used to sound like Ghetto when I lived in Detroit, and it's like, yeah, Ghetto's white. He's just as white as me.
Right. Well, I don't know about that. I do got 25% 𝗿𝗏𝗀𝗆𝗀𝗏 in me, which is a native tribe in Northern Oregon or Southern Oregon. But my thoughts on reparations, it would be pointless because every race would need some kind of reparations, from Irish to blacks to Japanese to, I mean, every race has been, served in some kind of slavery in my eyes.
And say that, but that's what will happen if, and I'm saying if, I'm not saying it will happen, but if NESARA does take, but
exactly.
Remember now, NESARA was signed into law by Bill Clinton. It was supposed to take effect on 9/11. That's when it was supposed to went into effect. Well, guess what? One of the reasons was 9/11 happened. It was so NESARA wouldn't go into effect, because if it did, all politicians would have had to step down. The whole monetary thing, everything would have changed. That's why one of the big reasons 9/11 happened. And so when this all changes, and NESARA, I think it will come in. This is my opinion. I think NESARA will come in, and it's going to be a very good thing, because that's when I guess you'd call it what you want to, reparations or whatever. But to me, it's getting back the money we've been screwed out of through interest and, crooked contracts that we never should have been able to force to sign, to buy a home, to buy a car, whatever. That was their way of cheating us out of more money. So all this money that, if and when NESARA comes in, all this money, not all of it, but a good bit of it will come back to us, the people, where it belongs. And so with that money, everybody should be obligated to buy their own land, to have their own garden, their own farm animals, and be back to what you was talking about a while ago, self-sufficient. That's what it's about.
Right. That's what our government should have implemented from the gate, is be self-sufficient, period. I mean, there's not just in wartime should we have gardens to help feed each other, because back in World War I, World War II, we had to do that, but we were being told to do that by the government. That shouldn't even be told to us. We should automatically do it. Thankfully, I jumped into it head first. That's how I met Ron. That's how I met all the prepper channels. I moved from prepping channels to homesteaders, to gardeners, to 2A, to all of it. Now, I've always been about my 2A, even when it wasn't legal for me. I was all about it. But
I hear you.
And when he's talking about Ron, he's talking about Dangerous Freedom.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Ron. Love you, brother.
Most definitely. I wouldn't even know Steve if it wasn't for Ron. And Ron taught me a lot on, doing my channel and such. And I know my channel is very random, but it all points back to one thing, F the system. Only God's going to save us. If we're looking for somebody fleshly to save us, then look in the mirror, because it's only you that you're only going to be able to save yourself. The government has been doing us all bad for a very, very long time. I just don't think they're going to, at the end of the day, again, I don't, pick on people that like Trump. I actually hope you're right. At the end of the day, I hope you're right, because then there's a little bit of hope. I got a 17-year-old daughter and an 11-year-old son. I don't want what I feel is going to happen to actually happen. I actually hope that there is some guy in there that's actually fighting for me and my family, so my kids' future isn't just bleak, because I believe we are in the movie Idiocracy, along with a whole lot of other movies, right? All pushed into one. But I'm trying to look at my children's futures. That's how I'm trying to plan right now.
Well,
and that's
in
why
that case,
I have a 16-year-old daughter.
Oh,
in that case, Ghetto, everybody, if you know what, and I know what you're saying is true. I mean, I know you love your family and everything, but that is exactly why you should be hoping and praying that Trump is the real thing. You know, and other than that, I don't know what to say.
But as much as you're hoping and praying Trump is the right one, that same
no,
belief,
not me. I know he is. I'm talking about you.
Right. No, I'm saying you have faith that he is, right?
Yes.
My feelings are towards you and Steve and Landon and Mayor and Buffering and Salt. My thoughts are I'm having hope and faith that they're doing their part for their family to be a self-sufficient fighting against the system. As much as you believe Trump is fighting against the system and for the people, I'm praying that every individual in the United States is fighting for themselves, so it'll make my family a lot easier in the future. Does that make sense? Because
yes, it does. But I think that's what people are. I feel like that's what I'm doing by, you know, getting behind Trump like I have here on YouTube. That's the only reason I ever came on YouTube, is because, first of all, I do believe in Jesus Christ. He is my Savior, my Lord and Savior. I believe in him. And I just thoroughly believe, wholeheartedly believe that what I've been talking about is true, or I would not be on here. I can tell you right now, if I didn't believe every bit it was true, I wouldn't be on here. And I'm going to continue what I'm doing. I mean, there's just too much evidence out there, and not only evidence of what's going on now, but evidence. He gave plenty of evidence when he was the president of how he was going to do things. He carried out every promise he made. Not one promise did he make that wasn't fulfilled. Not one. So, I mean, I just don't know what anyone else, what you could expect from a mortal man. You know, I mean, he is mortal like us after all. So what else could you expect?
Right. And I'm not one of those guys that, oh, Trump's bad and he's this. I'm not. I never once, and I won't ever say that he was a horrible president. I'll never say that. I mean, because psyops is everything. I mean, it looked like he was a great president. Everything he did, everything he stood for was great. It's me against the system that won't allow him to be a good guy. That's all it is. I'm not saying that he didn't do his job or whatever. But what I was trying to go into was think about. Let me actually ask you guys a question, right? And I'm not trying to keep y'all on longer than you're supposed to. Or
I'm gonna have to go here in about 5 minutes. I mean,
all right. So let me ask you one last question. If we didn't have the internet, right, and all these things that has happened in the past, let's say since Obama, right? Do you believe we as a people would be on the internet protesting, be on the internet talking bad? How I'm trying to articulate the right way. Basically, if they didn't have the internet, now I personally believe the internet is a weapon against people across the world. Because even in Cambodia, where the poorest places, they ain't got no food, they got an iPhone or an Android in their pocket. Regardless how poor you are, you have an iPhone. You're connected, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe if we didn't have this system, this electronic internet communicating system, that we would have actually already been in the streets fighting for our rights? Or do you believe that they gave us the internet, they gave us these platforms so we could be on here instead of on the streets?
It's a good question that I can't answer. I don't know. I absolutely don't know.
That's a good point.
It is. I mean,
because we could sit here and scream and F Biden and F this and F that and F that. They have it contained because their corporations are watching us. They're listening to it. Just like if I say Folgers coffee, I guarantee you half of your chat's going to have Folgers coffee freaking advertisements in their algorithm now.
Let me ask you one last question, Ghetto. Then I got to get the hell out of here.
All right.
What in your mind is the best thing to do, other than putting our hope in Jesus Christ and our trust in Trump? I'll put it like that. I mean, I just don't know how to put it.
There, minus the Trump, there is no other than putting our faith in Jesus Christ. I firmly believe you fully put your trust in Jesus and God. Regardless, revelation is going to happen. Regardless, a whole bunch of bad stuff on this planet is going to happen. We can't stop that, right? my ideal world and what I'm trying to strive for my family, and I hope other families, that way it makes it a better future for my kids, is to everybody be as self-sufficient as possible, live on your own land, unplug. When I say off-grid, there is no I'm sitting on a laptop in the middle of the woods connected to the internet talking on YouTube. I'm talking about unplugged. How easier would your life be if you didn't see any news articles, any Q this, any Trump that, or anything? How easier and more content would your life be?
Well, it'd probably be a whole lot better. But the problem is that this all started long before Trump, and I myself, like I said a while ago, I think he is there to, he is here now to straighten out what others have screwed up. And I'm not just talking about this country. This is one reason it's taken so long, is because it's not just this country, it's the entire world. And this is where a lot of people get thrown at, is because if it was this country, it could have been done already. But that's what all this stuff has been about, is taking down all these evil governments around the world. And I mean, I don't, but I got to go, man. I mean, I appreciate you coming up, Ghetto, but I do need to get out of here. So because I'm going to set up my own show for later on tonight.
Yep.
Right on. I'll see you guys later. I appreciate the invite.
You bet. Thank you, Ghetto. See you later, bro.
Much love, Ghetto. Good seeing you again, brother.
Much love, Steve. Much love, Ronnie.
Good argument, man. Appreciate it.
And everybody, shoot, let's see. Well, I pinned at the top of my chat. I think I pinned the link, but still, if you pin the link and go to Ronnie's, then you can subscribe to him. So, because Ronnie's going to be coming on his channel again, what, in 20 minutes?
Yeah, I think I'm going to set up for 9:15.
Okay, half hour. So,
yeah,
a little over half hour. So,
yeah, give me a little something to eat and rest my butt, get up and walk around for a minute. Then,
walk
then
off
get
the rug burn on the ass cheeks.
Absolutely.
Oh, there you go, Jam. Put it in there right on.
Steve, I love you, brother, and I always love being on with you. So thanks for coming up with me again. And
every week. And next week, we do every other week. So 1 week on mine, and then when it's on Ronnie's, I stream share it. And then so next week be my channel. 5:30 Central, 6:30 Eastern.
Yep.
And shout out to everyone that showed up and everyone that hit the like. Got 110 likes combined.
Really? Well, wonderful. That is fantastic.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think today was a damn good show. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it was. I mean, damn good. I really enjoyed it. That's why the 3 hours and almost 15 minutes.
Right. I know. It's really, really good. And yeah, shout out to Mr. B for coming up and Ghetto for coming up.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks to both you guys.
I feel better if William said it, but we don't need his approval today because I'm convinced it was a damn good show.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A darn good show. And I think we can have one like this every week. It's got to hit the subjects hard that we truly like to talk about. And I have no problem with people disagreeing with me. I honestly don't. That's why if I did, I'd have said, no, Ghetto, I don't want you to come up. But it would have been that simple. But I have no problem with Ghetto or anyone else disagreeing. I understand that. I just wish only thing I can say is, if not Trump, who? Because there is, in my opinion, there's no one else out there besides him. I haven't heard of anybody and that could possibly be as good as Trump.
Right.
But, and I'm not saying, that somewhere along the line, he couldn't be flipped to the other side. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying from what I know myself right now, he is the man, the only man I would vote for. But I think he's got God in his heart, and I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think he's going to be flipped to the other side, or he had already been flipped. So
he's
anyway,
already-
I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat. Well, there's Buffering. Dang, Buff, how long you been here, Buff? I saw you, brother.
friend. And
I'm
then,
about to take a break.
Right on Ghetto. I just seen Ghetto's chat too. I will. He said I can forward you his number and email if you like. So I'll send that to you, Ronnie.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. And once again, thank you, Ghetto, for coming up. And Mr. B, thank you, sir. And to everybody in the chat, thank y'all all very, very much for hanging in there these 3 hours and 15 minutes now. It's been fun. It has for me.
2
anyway.
hours. 2 hours doesn't seem like it used to, does it?
It sure don't. Gotten a little longer, hasn't it?
Right. But I'll just say this and then let you close out and get ready for your show. But to everyone in chat, much love, much love. I love all you guys. Have a beautiful morning, a beautiful day, a beautiful afternoon, a beautiful evening, a beautiful night, whatever it may be. Much love, much aloha. And most importantly, God bless. Love you, Ronnie.
Love you, Steve. See you later, brother.
All right.
Good night. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead and close it out here and get ready to do my next show. So about 9:15, I hope all you folks will be there. If not, shame on you. I love all you guys. And once again, thanks to Mr. B and Ghetto for coming up and making it such an enjoyable show. And we'll see you guys the next week on Steve's channel. And I'll see y'all hopefully later on tonight at 9:15. Maybe 9:20, just depending on, how long it takes me to get it set up, which shouldn't take long. But anyway, see y'all all over my channel, I hope. So goodbye until then. Thanks, guys. Talk to y'all later.